Hi, hello, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to talk to some real people about some real things, living real lives, doing real stuff. This is the Working Perspectives Podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied by the Prince of Partying, Party Boy Pete McCormick. Our special guest today is the incredible Breanna Hitchens. Party Boy Pete, how you feeling, my man?
I'm feeling pretty good, Bartholomew. I'm excited about this one.
Me too, my man. Me too. Hopefully we're going to break into a new demographic with this guest.
Hell yeah.
All right. So for all those listening, you can find all our stuff on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can join us on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast and hang out with us on the Twitter and the TikTok at Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workingperspectives@gmail.com. All right, let's get this thing started.
It's our objective to be effective by voicing societies. Working perspective, exploring your day and how you get paid. Launching a new episode every Tuesday. Your day can transform while we inform with new episodes available on every platform. So check out our vibe and how we get live. Then do us a solid, share and subscribe. Would you share it? Would you share it? Would you share it? Working Perspectives.
All right, Party Boy Pete, let's
What's
chat.
going on, buddy?
So, as you know, Captain Jerkbeard, a.k.a. Tom Lavelle, did you know that I found out that people listened to the show, maybe they were like first-time listeners, and heard us talking about asshole, a.k.a. Captain Jerkbeard, a.k.a. the Jerkbeard McGee, a.k.a. the Big Schlepp, right? And they didn't know that person was all one person, Tom Lavelle, right?
Oh, it's a lot of asshole to fit into one person, Matt.
Right. Understandably so, you know? So for all those listening, yeah, asshole, a.k.a. Tom Lavelle, had challenged me to a game of Mario Kart so I can win back the rights to my show that he stole out from underneath me due to some hijinks with the former co-host of the show, Shake, right?
Yeah. Matt, Snake.
Snake. Yep, you're right. Sorry. Snake. Yep. So, like I said, he has the rights to the show. I have a chance to win back the rights to the show via a game of Mario Kart. That game will be held at Graham's Pub on October 2nd. We'll be doing a lead-up show before that, so be ready, be prepared to see that stuff. But like we said, October 2nd, Graham's Pub, it's going to go down. I'm going to win the rights back to my show, and there's nothing he can goddamn do about it because I'm the best at Mario Kart, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Matt, it's like stealing candy from a baby that has a jerk beard.
Baby jerk beard. That's it. All right. So let's get to starting about today. So our guest today, I'm not going to lie. I was so excited when we booked this guest. All right. So Pete, you're from a big family. I'm from a big family, right?
Yep.
When you're in a big family, you get like cousins of all different ages that pop in at like different times and stuff like that.
Yeah, you have that aunt that's like 2 years older than you, and then the cousin that's like 14 years younger than you.
Yeah. You're exactly right. So this is kind of a similar situation, right? So like, you know, I have a bunch of cousins that are like 10 years older than me, right? Because my mom was the youngest of 6. And then my dad was like, he was the middle of 10, you know? So, yeah. So like, I have like cousins that are like 20 years older than me, but then I have other cousins that are like, 10, 12 years younger than me. Right.
Yeah.
So, but there are those little cousins that are like little pains in the ass that you're like, these little shits. Right. But then I feel like every family has like the family, like the darling. Right.
Oh yeah.
So,
you have the sweethearts.
Exactly. Right. So like, I feel like
Can I have a cookie, please? Of course you can have a cookie.
Yeah,
you can have whatever you want.
Yeah, they turn on the charm. They flash a smile. Everyone crumbles. They get whatever they ask for. Everybody loves them. They're all so sweet. Everyone thinks they're the best, right? I'd like to say that this was Breanna, and it was. So no, she absolutely was. She was the star of the show. Wherever she went, Everyone just thought she was the most adorable little thing. I think she's 13 years younger than me, right? So
Okay.
like she has like a couple older brothers too that we won't say their names, but like when we would have like parties and stuff, like we would all hang out and have fun. Shout out to her one brother actually peed on me accidentally. So we won't know. Yeah, but
he should have been standing there.
well, it was like this, right? So like we were older than them, but they were like, our cool little buddies, So
So he was a child. It wasn't like he was just an adult and walked over and peed on you.
yeah. No, he wasn't like, screw this guy, Kebash, It was so
You look cold.
Yeah, we were at like a barbecue, right? And like when I would get there, like they would be like, oh man, like I'd be like, oh hey guys, and like we'd play around and stuff. And then I picked him up and I put him on my shoulders and I was like walking around with him on my shoulders, right? And then I do remember this distinctly. He did say, he's like, oh, I gotta pee. And I was like, okay. I mean, I didn't even think like maybe I should put him down. And then like 2 minutes later, peed all over me. And I was like, all right, that's fun.
Well, I like how he didn't want to be pushy. He's like, look, I told him once, he's a busy man. He's got things to do, If he wants me to go up here, I'll go up here.
Yeah, he's got a plan, and I'm going to adhere to that.
I have more pants at home.
Yeah, and we were at his house, so he lucked out. But either way, but Breanna, let's get back to why we're really here. Breanna has always been like, I'll tell you this, she's one of my mom's favorite, if not my mom's favorite.
Oh,
everyone is always like, touted on her, thought she was the cutest, thinking, seeing her and her little knickknacks and all these things.
Breanna, come over here and let me look at that dress.
Yeah, like, let me squeeze those little cheeks, you little cheeks. Oh my God, you're so adorable. Yeah, that was her. That was her life for a long time, poor thing. I'll tell you this, when I was a little kid, got the opposite of that. I actually, I had, one time we were at a barbecue and and this happened twice. I had my older cousin pay me to leave him alone, right? And then I had another uncle pay me to leave him alone. And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
I got it.
And then the uncle peed on you instead of the other way around. He's like, you know what? You did leave me alone. This is ridiculous.
He's like, look, I'm taking my money back and I'm peeing on you. And that's how it goes. All right. No, I'll tell you this. They are, I'll say I don't know. They're ruthless. My aunts and uncles. I remember, so this was after my first confirmation, right?
Yeah.
I know we're bird walking a little bit, but after your first confirmation, this guy was flush. All right. I'm telling you, I was
the confirmation. Yeah, the guy that always had you didn't know if you liked him, but you wanted that guy at your graduation party because you knew the check was going to be there.
Oh yeah, buddy. Oh yeah. Confirmation time was big money. That's a big money thing. So, but this is all right. So we're there, right? And like I'd had my confirmation, I'd had this money like saved up, and then months later we had like a big barbecue at our house, and we would always like play cards and things like that and gamble. So like my aunts and uncles, like I was like 11 or 12 at the time. So Breanna was 1, right? So she has no recollection of this. But either way, so I'm like 11 or 12, and all my aunts and uncles, they're like, in their 40s and 50s and whatever, and they're all playing poker and cards, and they're playing for money and stuff like that, right? And I was telling my mom, like, Mom, I know how to play. Like, let me play. I want to play. And she's like, no, you idiot. They're ruthless. They don't care. And I'm like, no, I can win. I'm really good. I play all the time. She's like, who do you play with? You're 11, right? Like, what do you go into the casino? And I'm like, all right. But either way, I was like, I wouldn't leave her alone. She's like, fine. But if you lose all your money, you're not getting it back. I was like, I'm not going to lose any money. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to double this. I'm going to buy a new bike. This is going to be the best, right? I sit down at that table and legit, I remember
Go fish.
I knew how to play, like,
you knew the rules.
Yeah, I knew some of them. Right.
War.
But I bet the max bet every time. And I was like staying in on hands that I had and they like, dude, I probably had like $150. They took every penny of it and laughed at me the whole time. And I left and I'm like, Mom, like I just lost everything. She's like, yeah, well, you're an idiot and you're not getting it back. And I was like,
Matt, when you joined the team, did they double the blinds right away?
Oh yeah. Oh dude. Right. And I will say this, and I even noticed this as a young kid, it was all of them against me. Right. And I was 11 and I'm like, what is this, guys? I just wanted to buy some soda and you guys are coming at me. So either way.
And the other guy and like, hey, I stole that queen. There's no way he's getting a flush.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this would never happen to Breanna. All right. Because everybody loved her. So I do want to bring her in. She has been, I can't tell you how proud I am of her. She's got, a story of battling back, fighting back from the edge, overcoming adversity, becoming an entrepreneur. She's a young woman and a young entrepreneur and a role model for kids her age. And I would say very respectable and holds herself in a very high esteem. And I'm very happy that she agreed to be on the show. And I think, I'm hoping that, she likes the show, even though we're a couple of older stu-nods. So I know she's doing great and everything's fine. Breanna, I just would like to ask before we get started, have you seen the movie Bohemian Rhapsody? And if yes, what do you think of that piece of shit movie?
I did not see it.
Even the young kids hate that movie, Pete, all right?
Well, Breanna is our first Zoomer, I believe, right? You're the first member of the Zoomer generation to be on our podcast.
That's true. This is a historic moment for the Working Perspectives podcast. We have two shows. We have the Working Perspectives podcast that airs on Tuesdays on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives podcast. And then we have our sister show, The Weekend Poppin', which airs on Fridays on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives podcast. But on the Poppin',
Breanna, just a real quick on topic. Have you seen the movie Wayne's World?
I did, but so long ago.
Yeah, see, she no connection to Queen. No connection at all.
But you know the band Queen?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So the song Bohemian Rhapsody, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, when it comes on, everyone gets so excited. I mean, I was a bartender for a long time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know the hits. That one is a bar hit. That one, those are one of the ones I love that song. But Don't Stop Believing by Journey. If I have to hear that song 5 more times, I might just shoot myself.
As long as it's not Sweet Caroline, that's the one that gets me going. I hate that.
God, that's the worst. That one's the worst. I remember Chicken Fried, the song Chicken Fried. That one was would make.
I don't even know.
It was the country song. It's I want my chicken fried. Cold beer on a Friday night.
I happen to love that song.
Yeah, good song. But when you hear it 6 times a night, it gets to you. It gets you after a while. But like Pete was saying, you are the first ever videoed guest on the Working Perspectives podcast, airing on Tuesdays on all podcast platforms and YouTube. So so very nice. So people get to see.
I was saying she was the first member of the Zoomer generation. Below us, after millennials, it's after the DuckTales generation, it's the Zoomers.
Oh, so I completely fucking whiffed on that.
Hey, it's both. Both things can be true.
Yeah.
I think I'm in between. Some people, I'm 1996, so I feel like people consider me in 2 different ones depending on who I ask.
You're the oldest of the Zoomers. So normally millennial is 80 to 95, and then Zoomers 95, 96 and beyond. So you're on the cusp, but you grew up without knowing. You only know the internet. You didn't know a world where the internet wasn't in your house. Is that true?
Well, I remember when it first came out, and it would go to down you you wait forever to just get on AIM. So AIM came out when I was 11. So
AIM. What was your AOL Instant Messenger screen name? Do you remember?
It changed with my whatever new boyfriend I was dating that time, which was Breanna, and then I'd put their initials. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, man, hopefully all those guys are dead. So just kidding. But yeah, so AOL, dude, I'll tell you this. When you're doing dial-up, right, and you're on Instant Messenger and you're on dial-up and someone calls the house phone, how much did you want to kill that person?
All the time. Or it would be reversed. I would have my friends calling me and my brother would be on the internet and he'd freak out on me. It was a constant thing.
Yeah. That's why I wasn't allowed to have a cell phone, not that I wasn't allowed. I just didn't get a cell phone until I was 24, and I was the last person in existence that didn't have one.
Yeah, really.
Man, house phones. Can you imagine? Right? Do you remember? I remember we had one that when we went cordless and then we got the caller ID. I was dude, we're the freaking Jetsons here,
Dude, I remember my dad refused to go cordless for a while because he was well, what happens when the power goes out? And the cordless phone dies. I'm how long do you think the power is going to be out? We live, in the Philadelphia suburbs. We can see our neighbor. What?
Yeah. And it has, I mean, old people. What are you going to do? Right. So, okay. So, Breanna, how are you? Thanks for coming on. How are things?
I really can't complain. I'm living my best life out here.
Man, must be nice.
Yeah.
Living your best life at 24. Pete, do you even remember what 24 was like?
I do remember it was 24. Well, there was a lot of blacking out, so not all of it, but enough of it.
A lot of stuff. I was fighting full time when we were 24. You remember that? My God.
Oh yeah,
God, that was so long ago. I feel like an ancient dinosaur. Man, to be 24, could you imagine? I wouldn't change anything though. Like we did a lot of dumb shit, right? But I wouldn't change any of it. So okay. So I feel though now, like, okay, back when we were 24, 12 years ago, like getting partying and like being stupid and like all that stuff. I feel like that was like kind of the thing to do. But now what you're doing, Breanna, being like an entrepreneur and a businesswoman and owning your own business and running your shit on social media and like being a boss, I feel like that's more the thing to do than like, you know, being a wasteoid all the time. Would you agree with that assessment?
I think it really depends on the person. I think that I've always been like way mature beyond my age. So I've always had a lot of goals, and really nothing was going to stop me, especially not like drinking and partying.
Yeah.
No, you weren't going to be distracted.
Yeah.
No.
You don't need that stuff anyways. Plus, people do that stuff to drown out their sorrows, and you've never had a bad day in your life. So you're lucky in that respect. So, okay. So let's keep it going. I do want to move on to the hot segment in the streets right now, and we're talking about memory lane.
Where do these bizarre memories come from?
So in English, if you say this is lame, when you're describing something, what you are saying is that it's not cool, it's not awesome, it's not interesting.
So this is going to be a unique memory lane because Breanna here grew up in the early 2000s. So her memory lane is going to be a lot different than old Uncle Maddie's and Party Boy Pete's memory lane. But I'm excited to see what it is. So Breanna, because you are the guest, what is your memory lane topic today?
So you said something that I thought was super cool when I was growing up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I was younger, the first one I had was a pink razor.
Ooh.
And I loved hanging up on people dramatically and just going wham.
Oh, hold on. Two things you brought up there. One, the Razor was the coolest phone that was ever invented. When the Razor was coming out, the shit was so thin. The commercials were cool. You're like whipping them in, and they could stick into the they're like a knife.
It was like was it like 5 or 6 years before smartphones were a thing? So really, it was just a phone that looked cool. It didn't do anything crazy, right? Like there was no like features. Just like, look, I open it up, it looks slick, and I fold it back in.
Yeah, I mean, like I think at that point, the Razors could take pictures that were like
it could take pictures, right,
ultra pixelated, right? Mm-hmm. But like I will say this, Breanna, it's funny you bring up the cell phone because you had a cell phone before I did.
I was thinking that. I was like, I definitely think I had one before him.
You did. That was actually the catalyst to me getting one because people are like, ooh, if she has one, maybe it's time. But
I was in college when the Razor came out. And I was in college, I was cheap, I had no money, so I just got the cheapest phone I possibly could. I went to AT&T and I'm like, what is your cheapest phone?
Yeah.
But I had a friend, and she was the one that she got the Razor right away. And we were in college, so I guess parents gave her some money, she got the Razor, and we're at a party, and anyway, I go into the bathroom and I noticed that there's a Razor in the toilet, and I'm like, well, it's in the toilet already, so I just pay, in the toilet. And then I leave, and she's like, is my phone in there? And I'm like, yeah, but I don't know if you want to go get it. So,
oh my God, could you imagine, dude? Do you remember? So I think back then, I think I was on shout out Verizon back then, not with Verizon anymore. Free shout out, but either way, I was on Verizon back then, and they used to have the free upgrade gimmicks. Do you remember those? Oh my God, when you would get your free upgrade like every couple of years, that was the best, right? I was upgrading to the Razor in week 2. It's like, let's go. Right. But then
that was back when most phones only cost like $30. So,
yeah. Like you could legit. Well, okay. You're right. Like you could get like remember like those Nokia bricks that were like, oh, forget it. So, but you do bring up something interesting, Breanna, because, okay. So I do remember this as well. There'd be times because you'd hold it like this, right? Or sometimes you'd even be like this. Like if you're the cool guy, like holding it like this with like flipped out like that. You're like, oh, bro, whatever, right? But then you're here like this, right? And you're like, you know what? Fuck you. Bam, right? Was that what you missed about those? The flip phones?
Yeah, I missed the like little smack noise it made when you hung up on someone. Like, yeah.
Oh man, dude, that's crazy. I do remember that. I mean, that would be nice. I wonder if there's an app that has that. I bet there is. And if not, that's $1 million idea, right? The flip phone app to hang up on people. That's a genius idea, and you just had it, Breanna. So there we go. Nice. So I mean, dude, those phones back then, they were like, it is crazy to think like they were the height of technology, you know, but I mean, they were fun. I mean, all that stuff, like, you know, geez, some of them too were so durable, right? Like I remember I legit like fell on top of a phone, like on a sidewalk, and like thought it was smashed into a million pieces. It would smash the phone I had right now into a million pieces. And this thing didn't even have a scratch on it.
If it was a Nokia, it would survive a nuclear blast.
Oh, easily. Yeah. But who are you hanging up on like that? Your mom? Your priest?
I mean, no, never. No way. My mom would have killed me about aggressively hung up on her like that.
True. That's very true.
Very funny that you said that. I don't know who I was hanging out. Maybe my friends.
Yeah. Drama back then. Drama was everything, right? Everybody loved drama. Drama was huge, man. I think, like, remember, like, I mean, you were probably, I don't know. Did you? I mean, I think the way since it started, I'm going to say MTV, right? Since MTV started, I think everyone eventually goes through an MTV phase, right? Where everything you only watch like MTV all the time, right? Did you guys all have that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also say it's because like when I was in my MTV phase, MTV had its best programs. It had Next. It had the X Effect. It had Date My Mom. Like the dating shows on MTV back in the day were the best dating shows. Room Raiders. Like now it's just like
Road Rules Challenge, right?
Yeah, like all that. There was still Road Rules. There was still Real World. There was still the Challenge. All that kind of stuff. And as much as I enjoy a nice ridiculousness marathon, that is all that's on MTV today is ridiculous. And I'm like, dude, show some Next Refund, show some X Effect, like bring those good stuff back.
But they also used to play like, dude, like, I mean, I know I'm sounding like old, but they would play like music videos too, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you like the music videos. I never cared for music videos because I don't really like music in general. I'm strange like that.
Whoa. We argue every week about the movie Bohemian Rhapsody, and
that's because Queen's the only band I like.
Wow. You know what, Pete? You're digging yourself into a hole here, pal. So, all right. Well, we've talked about it enough. So we're gonna vote on Razor phones, which are gangster, and then we're gonna vote on doing the hard flip down, saying F you and F the horse you came in on, smacking down that hard flip, and that's what we're voting on. So. Breanna, since you brought it up, what are you voting? Are you going to vote rad or lame?
Totally rad. If I seen someone with a razor now, I'd be like, you are sick.
Yeah. Peter Hosen, your thoughts on the razor and the hard slam?
This is a tough one, Matt, because at one point, the idea of paying $400 for a phone that doesn't get me on the internet or apps is one thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the memory of that razor in that toilet was pretty great. So I think I am going to go with a rad on that one.
Yeah.
For the nostalgia.
Yeah, and I'm gonna rat it also because that was the phone that catalysted me, or like was the catalyst for me getting a phone as well. Because I believe you were 6 at the time, and something along those lines, 6 maybe 7, something along those lines, and you had a Razor phone, and I had nothing. So I'm gonna rat it out. Say the Razor phone is rad, as well as. Bring back
then, you know
slam.
What? Then I want to thank Breanna because that's when I stopped getting calls from Matt where it was like 1-800 click call from pick me up at up.
Yeah. I was so well, here's an embarrassing story, but I was seeing someone at the time and I didn't have a cell phone, but I was living in Roxborough on Ripka Street. Do you remember that house on Ripka Street, Pete? That house it was a house, hopefully. But either way, I didn't have a phone, so I would go to, there was like a Sunoco, like a gas station kind of gimmick, right? And on the side of the gas station, they had like the pay phones, and I would just like, I would either have a ton of quarters or I would buy one of those cards, and I would like call like the person I was seeing at the time, or like, call Pete or whoever and like set something up. And dude, like also too, do you remember this? Like back in the day, like if you made plans, right? You were like hoping like there was like a couple hours of like okay, like, is this gonna happen? Like, there was like that time frame of like, hey man, so say it's Thursday, you call, you're like, all right, bro, let's meet there at like 8 o'clock on Friday, right?
Yep,
So
yep.
if you said that, there's no texting, you might not call him again till then. The plan was just to meet at wherever at 8 o'clock, right? Or meet at this house. There was no like, hey man, I'm on my way, or hey, oh bro, see you there, or whatever. That just didn't happen. You just had to rely on people being there. That's something that like right now I think would give most people like a panic attack.
And he didn't have the smartphone to read while you were waiting. You couldn't scroll through Twitter. You're just like, well, I guess I'll just read this Chinese food menu again.
Oh my god.
Prices are looking pretty good for General Tso's.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you're absolutely right. So all that stuff went haywire. So all right, but let's get into it. I really wanted to get into this today. I'm really excited for this guest. Big fan of her accomplishments and the things she's done and how she lives her life, because she's one of those from what I've seen at least, is kind of like does what she wants, but does it in a cool way, I would say. So
Yeah.
Breanna here was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Then she grew up in Hatfield, PA. She went from public school from kindergarten through 12th grade. Then she did some community college and she got her bachelor's from Temple. And right now she's in the process of getting her master's right now in business. Is that right, Breanna?
Yes, international business.
International business.
Is that Breanna? What was your undergrad?
International business as well.
Gotcha. And then where are you doing your master's at?
Temple.
Oh, nice. My older sister got her PhD in econ from Temple, so we're big fans of the Owls.
Yeah.
And my youngest cousin, actually, the Owls just won a national championship for cheerleading, and she's on the cheerleading team. So we're big Owl fans on the Working Perspectives podcast.
Hell yeah! Big shout out to the Temple Owls. Hell yeah! I will say this: that I have a PhD as well. It's a player hater degree. And that's all right. So,
Matt, you know she's smart too, because she did the first 2 years of community to save out on the money. The schmucks like us, girl, we were all told we had to go to 4-year schools right away, or in my year, 5-year schools, and got the giant debt. So
yeah, dude, honestly, I feel like I tell like all the kids I see, I never went to college, so I never had this experience, and I don't have student loans, thank God. But I tell these kids now, and like I feel like they're all on board, where it's like, oh no, I'm not gonna go right, like I'm doing community first, like forget it, like. And also, from what I've heard, Montgomery County Community College is like, from what I was told, it was called like 13th grade for North Penn for a while, just because like everyone from the local high school just went there, which I mean, it's a smart thing to do. You know, it's I mean, it is a top notch, like as far as community colleges go, it's top notch, right? Like I remember a buddy of mine, he was there, he did a music program there, and the teacher that taught there was also the teacher that taught at Drexel, right? And the teacher would tell them, he was like, look, I'm teaching you the exact same thing that I'm teaching to the people at Drexel, and you're paying a lot less, just letting you know. And I was like, man, when you put it like that. So, all right. So either way, so let's keep it going. So like we said, she's in the process of getting her master's right now from Temple, home of the Owls. All right. And then as far as things she's done sports-wise, she's been dancing from the age of 10 till the present. Still dancing.
Really?
Yes. And this is what I want to get into, because this to me was fascinating, right? So obviously she dances. So Step Up 2, Step Up 3, The Streets, Step Up 4, The Revenge are all her favorite movies, right? Is that a correct statement, Breanna?
I mean, they're very good movies. I wouldn't say my favorite, but they're very good.
I'll tell you what, I like a good dance movie, you know?
What
like
was the one that had Steve Harvey as the judge, and at the end they're like, how are we going to judge this? And like one of them goes, we're going to do it straight street. And I'm like, oh, this is...
Oh, you got served?
Yeah.
Maybe it was You Got Served.
Yeah. Dude, You Got Served was the hot-ish. Everyone was loving You Got Served.
I missed that, like when this random thing, like this small cultural thing would become like all of a sudden it's like in 9 movies. We're like, really? There's like underground dance competitions. Interesting.
Like I feel like it developed something that wasn't there before. Like in the movie, like they had like all these underground dance things and all these dance competitions and all these big things that didn't exist in real life. Then the movie happens, and now these things start existing in real life, and you're like, what is going on here? Right? Where did the world change? But yeah, it was incredible. Then you get, I mean, all that stuff. I mean, well, could you consider Drumline a dancing movie?
think it's 10. I wouldn't say. I think it's close. Like it's like I don't know what I would say.
What about Dirty Dancing? That's the dirtiest dancing movie there
You know,
is.
it's like Jaws isn't a monster movie, but it kind of is a monster movie.
I think you're right. That's a great comparison. Pete, you're a smart fella.
Yeah,
So,
smart
alrighty. So I
Good looking,
wanted to.
too.
Oh yeah, the best looking guy in town, obviously. So okay, so Breanna here started in ballet, tap, and jazz, right? But now she does Latin dance, and she trains in the Latin dance, right? She goes to like a training for it, and then she goes to clubs on the weekends where she throws down and just whoops some ass in the dance floor, right? And I do want to say this. So a couple weeks ago, or previously on the show, we aired the Rocco DeFinis episode, right, Pete?
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
in the Rocco DeFinis episode, we had talked about how Rocco was able. So he had went to he auditioned for this play, right? And he didn't get it. Then that night he was like totally bummed out and like, man, I wish this would happen. He's gay. He then goes to a gay club, right? And he's in the middle of a dance battle and he's going, right? He's really getting into it. He's doing his thing. He's letting his emotions flow out through his dance because he's hurt because he didn't get the part that he auditioned for. And then all of a sudden he's letting these moves fly. And then he gets a tap on the back of his shoulder. And who is it? It's the directors of the show that he auditioned for. And they're asking him to be the choreographer for the show, right? That wouldn't happen in me and Pete's world, right? Even though I would love for that to happen, it would never happen, right?
No matter how many people I serve, I never get the tap on the shoulder.
No, yeah. No matter how many dance battles you win, you're never getting the audition. You know what I'm saying? You're no Channing Tatum, unfortunately.
No.
Even though you're way better looking than he is. So, but either way, Breanna has these kind of like magical like movie moments. I feel
Like what kind of Breanna? What kind of clubs are these? What kind of clubs are we talking about here?
Well, hold on. Let's build it real quick. So I just want to do it like this. So how did you find out about this? And then I really wanted, like, can you kind of describe what a dance off is? Like what it's like, like what's going on? Like, let me have it.
Okay, so
and where does this stuff occur? Sorry, Pete. Go ahead, Breanna.
Okay, yeah, so got into it. I had made a lot of Spanish friends when I was younger, when I was like 15, and like they were like, "You want to go to a baile?" And I'm like, "I don't know what that is, but I'm the type, I'll go. I don't care."
Sure.
I'm like,
you're down to
"Let's
have a good
try
time."
it."
Yeah.
So I'm like, let's go. And I see them doing all these dances. And I'm like, okay, I can dance hip hop. I can dance all this stuff. But when I'm looking at what they're doing, I'm like, I cannot do that. What is happening, guys? Right?
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
And I'm intrigued. So I'm like, show me. So my friend showed me. And so I had went to plenty of these ballets, family parties. We went to like Spanish clubs in the city and stuff. And I'm like, wow, I'm awesome at this. Okay. And then my friend goes, well, I'm taking lessons at the studio. And then a bunch of us get together and we dance afterwards. I'm like, sure, let's go.
Yeah.
And so I'm taking the lesson. I'm like, yeah, I got some things to work on. And I go afterwards, and let me tell you, these people are so good at this that I had to question myself for a while. I was like, wow, maybe I'm not that good. Then as I like kind of kept going, I improved a lot, and I learned a lot of new things and how to dance better with people, because apparently I had a problem with not letting the men lead me. I want to like take full control. I'm like, I'll show you what to do.
Yeah.
That doesn't work.
House. Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
So for Latin dances, it's like the men leading. It isn't like a dominance thing. It just helps with how the flow of the dance would work.
Yeah. So there's a lead and there's a follow. And I mean, I'm going to go like 95% of the time, the lead is a male. It can be a female. It's just that females would have to specifically ask to be trained to be a lead. And so like I don't have any training on how to lead a girl. So yeah, it could work that way. It just usually is the male's the leader and the woman's the follower with dance.
You would never lead a male partner though? Like that, is that like a taboo? Like, is that like just like a machismo thing? Like, or yeah.
No, it happens. There's a girl in that I see sometimes, and she leads and the men follow. and she has led me. I've danced with her because I like to try and dance with anybody. So
Yeah.
and it's really interesting. It's really cool how she can do it. I honestly am just not trained in it.
What is so like I'm assuming then if you're leading, the steps and like I guess your dancing responsibilities would be different. Like so like
Yes.
if you see like the dances, right? Like a man would carry or lift or like turn like or swing or whatever the female, just because like hypothetically the men would be stronger to do that, right? Is that kind of like
It's
what?
it's more so like, so if you lift your arm this way, I know to go this way. If you lift your arm this way, I know to go that way. And so or like a slight like tap on my shoulder or a slight like tap on my hip or something, like I'll know which way to go.
Yeah, it's just
So
a different
he's like,
completely.
so like, you're like the engine that's revving, and he's just
Yeah.
kind of like directing you. Oh
Yeah.
wow! Oh wow!
So it's kind of like his movement initiates your movement, and then you're finishing a movement initiates his next movement. Like, okay, now I know when to do it.
Wow!
Right. And so if I try and lead him and he's trying to lead me, we're gonna kind of like
Yeah. You're gonna run into each other. I see.
Yeah.
Toes are getting stepped on.
Yeah, that happens too. I've broken a few toes and dance in my lifetime.
What?
No.
Oh my God, that's one thing. Like I will say this, right? And this is no joke. So for boxing, footwork is everything, right? And like I'm not saying something people don't already know, but footwork is everything. But I tell the kids that there is so many similarities in dancing and boxing, just because the way the footwork is, because of the way is like it would position your hips or position your foot to move, right? So like you're like, it's no like dancing is, you need to be severely athletic, like you need to be
Matt,
very athletic to be a good dancer.
I believe we brought this up before, but I believe Randall Cunningham took ballet lessons, and so did like Jerry Rice and Bo Jackson, like a bunch of great, like they said it helped them with their footwork,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Old Twinkle Toes, man. That's not a joke. Those guys can float out there. Dude, plus dude, if you watch like old movies, like do you know who, there's an actor, his name's Gene Kelly. He was in this very famous movie called Singing in the Rain, right?
Yep.
Like everyone's sort of like singing in the rain, right? Dude, if you watch that dude dance, him or like Fred Astaire, right? There's no qualms about it. That is like athleticism at its highest level. Those guys are super athletes, athletes. Right. So like, I feel like it is like a thing, like, I don't know. I think it's different in each culture because like, dude, like Lord of the Dance, right? What's his name? Michael Flynn or Flatley, Michael Flatley, Lord of the Dance. Yeah. So like Irish dancing, that's unreal athleticism. So, but when you're out there, okay, so let's set this right. I'm going to set the table and you're going to have the entree, and this is how it's going to work. So let's say you're at dance class. What night is dance class?
Wait, the class or like the nighttime one?
The class.
Okay, so class is in the morning. So classes are so I take class every Sunday at 11:30 until 1:30. And then I'm back to dancing at 8 p.m. until like 2 a.m. or something like that.
Oh wow. So and like, okay, so like when you're out dancing at the clubs, you're like, maybe you'll have like a drink or two, but you're there more for like the dance than to like tie one on, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's every so often. Like if the problem is if I drink too much,
then you're dancing sloppy.
I'm not as good as I'm not as good as a dancer. And really that's more fun to me to be like dancing and like competitively, I guess, than to be drinking.
Oh, see, that's awesome. That's badass, man. You know, like it is like you're out there, like you're getting more of like we'll just say like you're getting more of like a high or like getting your fix in, like when you're like killing it on the floor and in like a move, like how many times are you out there and you're going and you're like, God, I just don't want the song to end, like we're in such a groove, right? Like does that happen a lot? Or
it does, and especially if you like develop a relationship with the person that you're dancing with, because then like you guys know each other, you know what moves they're gonna bring you, and it's more fun and like relaxed.
Yeah. And you guys are like like you're in it together of like, let's go, like we know what we can do, like let's ramp it up. So that being said, so you did say that you are seeing someone, right? But they don't dance. So
that's correct.
Is that an issue of like you dancing with another dude with your being like, I'm not, what are you doing with this dude? I'm your dude. Like, hey, what's up, dude? You know?
No, my boyfriend is wonderfully comfortable with everything I do in life. And I think that you kind of have to be when you date someone like me. I work very long hours. I'm in school. I go to the gym first thing in the morning. I still have friends and a big family, and so like my schedule is crazy all over the place. So
insecure guys need not apply.
Yeah. I mean, they've tried, and usually, it's like not a good mix here.
Yeah. See you later. Good. That's awesome. Good for you. Well, that's how it should be. So, okay. So let me set the table. So it's Sunday morning. You go, you dance, you pour your heart out. You get the work in. You get a nice dance in, and you're like, all right, we're feeling good, guys. We were on it today. I'm ready for tonight. Like, we're gonna go to the club and we're gonna show those, flaquitos what's up, right? So you have to dance. Like, you talk, like when you're at class, are you like, yo, let's work on this and then try this tonight, and let's work on this, and like, oh, I think we can do this tonight if they do this, like, kind of thing like that? Is that how it works?
It's pretty much unspoken. So whatever you learn in class, you immediately practice with your classmates as soon as you get there. And it's kind of cool because a lot of us, we already practice the same things. The people who don't go to class, they're like, oh, wow, look at all these people like doing the same move. Like, we could choreograph and all do the same thing at the same time if we really wanted to. And like outsiders would have no idea,
So this is legit like a movie, right? Like, you guys are going there and you were just at a dance, like you can go on the dance floor and be like, all right, let's go. And then like freaking West Side Story the shit out of everybody, right? So, okay, that being said, right, we get to the club. Everyone's there. Like, we're like, you're with your crew, right? You're with the SK7 dance crew, right? Or whatever your name is. And do you guys have a name, or are you just like, hey,
no, we don't have a name, because honestly, like, people come and go. People are on vacation for a few months sometimes, and so our crew's always changing.
How long have you been like doing this? Like, how long have you been going? Like, has the school like if the school's changed or whatever, but like, how long have you been doing like this type of thing where you'll dance, like go to the club and break it down and stuff like that? Like, how long has this been going down?
So I've been Latin dancing for almost 10 years, but I never took any specific lessons from like a professional until this year, which was I think this February.
Did you lose in the finals last year? And you're like, that's never happening again.
No. I've never competed for Latin dance. I would actually really like to in the future. Like, never done a professional competition. But I'm hoping that they start opening up now.
Well, you need to keep your amateur status for the Olympics.
Yeah.
Like, go in for the amateurs and just destroy all of them.
That would be. I mean, it does happen. I mean, look at the dream team, right? Like, come on. Like, your squad, you guys would be like the dream team.
She's like Jordan walking in there, like, all right, here we go.
She's like, all right,
Latvia.
Yeah.
I always like Michael Jordan because he always says, like, nobody works harder than him. It's like very much one of my mottos. I'm like, you can't outwork me. You can do whatever you want, but you can't outwork me.
You know what?
What's the old saying, Matt, right? Hard work beats talent when talent refuses to work hard. That's
Amen,
the old
brother.
saying.
Amen. Dude, that's another one of me and Pete's, one of our big guys that we always looked up to, besides Michael Jordan, is this wrestler named Dan Gable. And Dan Gable is the same thing. He always said, he was like, I'm not the most talented, but no one works harder than me. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm in the very much the same mindset where it's like, outwork, like, it gives you a mental edge when you outwork people. I agree. Right. Yeah. Nice. Good. Glad to hear that. Very good. So, okay. So the crew's at the club.
Yeah.
We're ready to get down. We all know what the steps we did at class. Everyone's ready to party, right? Mm-hmm. You come out on the floor. Obviously, everyone knows, like, okay, this crew's for real, right? This crew's
out here.
Yeah.
You're like, saw this girl last week.
All right, let's keep an eye out for this one. Security's like, okay, we're not gonna let this get out of hand, right? You guys hit the floor. The music hits. You guys do your thing. How does a dance like challenge occur? Or is it just like two people are going at it and you see like another two people and you guys just keep going until the first one like messes up? Or how's it go?
We don't really do like a dance battle like you would see in a movie out there.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? It's kind of funny because it's like who you're dancing with. Like, so there's many different types of dance, and a lot of them are not competitive because they're some of them could be more like
for fun, right?
Yeah, or like something like sensual or something like more intimate, okay. And it's like I don't know how you're gonna compete on that. I don't know. Whatever. So
don't get awkward.
Yeah. But
it's a strip off.
Like salsa can be a little bit like when you're dancing with someone, like sometimes you dance salsa usually like together, but you can kind of push that person apart and kind of like show off your move, you know what I mean? And then you two are in front of each other and you just kind of have fun and it's like showing who knows more moves. But we have performances and stuff like that. Like sometimes like they'll special event, they'll be like, okay, listen, everyone stop dancing for a second. We have like 2 people who have trained and they're going to perform for us. And usually
get out of here, jokers. We got the real deal.
They're like, look, you amateur pieces of shit, get your slap asses off the dance floor. We got real talent here and they're going to bring it down. Right. Like that, like, and then do you have like a song that's like, this is when like, you know, when some people say like, this is my jam, like that may be their jam, but this is your jam means like a different thing. Because you're like, look, this is the one I throw down to, right? Do you have a song that's like that or what?
I have a few, and every time it's funny because my friends are always like, you love every song. Every time I'm like, this is my shit. I'm getting out there.
Like she goes, she's like, you know what? Maybe I'll order a drink. What? Nah, put the drink down. Put it back.
That's exactly how it goes. My friends are going to go to the bar, and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh, hold on. No.
Yeah.
I'll meet you there.
Yeah. You're like, not right now. I got something to do, and it's called killing the dance floor, right?
But what about so we've heard about good dancers, but are there any like atrocious dancers that show up? And is it like, oh, do you feel bad for him? You try and help it out, or is it like the guy that plays blackjack who's like, this motherfucker keeps stealing my cards? Like I was going to peer away into this area, but now they're in that area. So how do the atrocious dancers? How often does it happen, and how are they treated?
Yeah, and how do you kick them off the dance floor? Like, do you send them away with your moves, and you're just like, and they're just like, oh no.
Here's a 20. Go get yourself a drink.
Yeah. You're like, look, this is my song, so you shouldn't be here, right?
The worst is when it's a song you love and someone who can't dance asks you to dance, and you know you want to be so polite, you know, but it's like, damn, you're really gonna ruin this song for me? All right, okay. But,
wow.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. Not so often. Usually everyone's pretty good, and usually I try and like avoid contact with people who I don't enjoy dancing with. Yeah. But every so often it happens to where they're like, come on, Bree, get out there with me. And I'm like, dang. And I have a problem with my face that it says everything I think. And I can't stop it. Yeah, I can't stop it. It's
my wife calls it her resting bitch face, but is this an active bitch face?
It's like, even if someone says something dumb to me, and I'm trying to keep my eyes open the whole time, but it's like somehow they're still like rolling, and like oh my god, it gets me. Like it happened to me last week. This guy asked me to dance, and he didn't know what he was doing. He was like a drunk old like Irish guy or something. I don't even know how he got here. Yeah. And he's like, I'm here for a good time. And whatever. He's like, come dance with me. And then he's like, oh, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm like, great. And then he's like looking at me. He's like, I guess I did really bad. And I'm like, no, why are you saying that? He's like, your face. And I'm like,
you're like, yeah, well, it doesn't lie. So no, that
my mouth lies, but not the rest of my face.
I will say this, and like, you know, I can't. So this is something that you've experienced and Pete has experienced, but I really haven't experienced. So for all those people listening and not watching the video, Breanna is a very beautiful young lady. So she has the ill fortune of like I'm sure when you go to these clubs, like, do you kind of like position yourself where if a creep tries to come over, he has to get through like several levels of security before he bothers you? Or how do you because like it can't be avoided, right? Because you are a nice person and you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. You don't want to be rude, but also it's like you want to have a good time as well, and you want to do your thing. And Pete, I know you've been through this like almost every day of your life. Where
man, I actually have we'll get back to it, but I have a story of the one and only time I tried to ask a girl to dance.
Oh boy. I mean, well, you're just not used to it because everyone's always asking you to dance because you're the best dancer in town.
I think I was like 13 in Wildwood at a club that was having like an under 21 night.
Yep.
And I'm like chubby with acne all everywhere, like cracked voice. So I think I went up to like an 18-year-old hot chick. I was like, "Oh, do you want to dance?" And she just laughed at me and walked away. I'm like, "All right."
Like, all right, one and done there. Yeah. I think we've all been in those scenarios. But
And that's when I realized, you know what? Don't ask questions that you don't know the answer to.
Yeah.
Or-
Smart. Don't put yourself in a situation like that where it's a guaranteed no. But what so okay, so back to this. And Breanna, if if this is too awkward for you to talk about, then we don't have to talk about it. But like, what do you do? Like, is there like a way to like block it or like send out a vibe or like, because like, okay, so one of the games I used to play at the bar where it's like someone looks at you, right? And you make eye contact and you pretend like you're looking at the person behind them, right? And then they think that, oh, are you looking at me? Oh, you're looking at the person behind me. And then you're like, oh, I wasn't looking at either of you. And it's a whole thing, right? So like, that's a scenario that you probably have to deal with a lot. So are you just like sitting there with like your head down, like, oh God, okay, I know you, let's go. Like, what is it like? I mean, I don't know. I just don't know.
It really depends. I think that as like a young woman, you kind of face this a lot, no matter where you go. And it depends on the kind of person that's going to approach you. So if someone's respectful and they say like, hey, you're beautiful, you're great, blah blah blah. And
I love hearing that.
That's that's nice knowledge. Just like, I'm like, yeah, okay, I have a boyfriend, just want I like to be respectful of my boyfriend because we're not going to cross any boundaries there. And believe it or not, I know you said you made this scene that I'm America's sweetheart. I'm very nice, but if you come at me the wrong way, I will gladly put you in your place. And so that happens. That happens like if someone tries to like put their like hands on you or something like that, especially with dancing. You're very close.
Damn right. There's no reason to be inappropriate. And
then there's accidents, and then there's like, I know that wasn't a fucking accident.
Which, to be honest, accidents do happen in dance sometimes. You're doing a spin, sometimes someone hits you right in the boob or so, you know what I mean? It happens. But like if somebody like purposely grabs you.
But when you feel the squeeze, you know what's up.
Especially if it's like a 70-year-old like drunk Irish guy. You're like, bro, look, I know you can't see, but I know you can feel. All right. So,
but my friends protect me a lot. One of my best friends that I go with all the time, she says that her full job is like fighting guys off of me all the time. So I don't know what she's talking about. She's like so beautiful. I'm fighting people off of her all the time too. So I don't know. But
I think you got each other's backs.
So
a pro tip, what you do is you get a thing of Valtrex and you take it out, and then every once in a while you just apply it, and then people are like, oh, she has herpes. And then no one messes with you the entire night.
Good thing Breanna had no idea what Valtrex is.
I was like, what is that?
When I saw the reaction, I was like, well, I guess I'll just have to spell this one out.
I only know what it is because of a commercial. I'm married.
I'm going to become a nurse. That's what I know about it. It's school.
So all right, so good. That is glad to hear. But you do, I would agree where it's like, and I think all girls should have this where it's like, or women should have it. It's like if everyone's cordial and polite, there's nothing wrong with that. But you should know, like, if there's a boundary that's crossed, it's time to act, and it's time to act now, because you can't let that shit slide. It's almost like your life is in prison and you can't be, you can't let that shit slide. You got to be the toughest one in the yard. You know what I mean? So,
and
nice.
Where are these clubs? Did we go over that yet or no?
No. Oh, you did ask me that. I'm sorry. There's actually, funny enough, you guys are gonna.
Let me get my pencil.
I feel like you guys are gonna get weirdly excited about this, but there's.
Well, I've never seen it, so I'm in Philly, and I'm just intrigued. Like, I'm assuming, is it on 5th Street, or is it outside of Philly?
No,
Pete is also the best dancer you'll ever see. Sorry.
Well, you guys are both more than welcome to come whenever. Okay, putting it out there, you're more than welcome.
We can small circles it, Matt.
Yeah.
We go like every different day of the week. It's a new location.
Really? Oh, this is like a secret so they change.
No, it's like we know. Like, so we're like, oh, okay, it's what's today? Wednesday. Okay, so Wednesday there's a place in Camden. Thursdays in Philadelphia at Lyrics.
Wait, what's the place in Philadelphia?
Lyrics.
Lyrics?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
I just had to look this place up.
Lyrics. Yeah.
Different place, like depending on the day of the week.
No shit. Okay.
And what kind of places are they? Are they warehouses? Are they bars? Like, or is this like, this is
I guess you guys
a
are
club
familiar,
like you would expect from AC or something?
Yeah.
You guys have been to Adelphia's before?
I have not.
Oh, okay. Well, it was like I don't know. It's a popular place in New Jersey, but
Okay.
so that's like a club.
Okay.
Most of them are clubs. Some of them are just like outdoor venues. Yeah, there's a few places. There's another one called Atrium in New Jersey. We even used to dance like at this restaurant in Ben Salem. Just it was like random. We dance on the beach. We dance like wherever we can all meet up and dance is where we're dancing.
That is cool. But like you guys would set it up as like you guys have like a group text or whatever the hell it is, and you're like, all right, it's here tonight, and like it could change. Like it's not going to be lyrics every Thursday. It's going to be like sometimes
that lyrics is in your neighborhood.
Oh, really? It's in Mayfair?
Yeah, it's in Mayfair.
Oh, it's right off Roosevelt, right by.
Wait. I think is it by like the Roosevelt Mall?
It's like there's like a laundromat right near it. It's in like a shopping complex.
No,
it's at like it's on the boulevard between Levick and Harbison.
Oh,
it's right. It's close to the Acme.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're at.
I did not know that place existed.
yeah, I know exactly where you're at. Yeah, you're right in the middle of like that's like little Puerto
Maybe
Rico.
we'll edit that out. That way people don't know how to find her.
Yeah. We're gonna have to edit. Yeah. We're gonna have to edit a lot of this out. Otherwise, they're never gonna be able to go to those clubs again. But
every Thursday you would go to the same place unless unless something like kind of changes. Like we've been going to the same place on Sundays for a few months, and now this new place opened up, so we started going there more. But we'll kind of like go back and forth.
Nice. Do you like get to know the owners of these places and stuff, or like is it like you guys just show up, you do your thing, and like you bounce around like, oh, I like this place, or we haven't been to this place in a while, or oh, this place had really good music last time. Like it's kind of just like, hey, who wants to you can put a suggestion like, hey, it's Thursday, they do this thing at Lyrics and it's really cool, you guys want to do that? And everyone's like, yeah. Right.
Yeah, so it depends on your friend group, kind of like everyone has their own little friend group, and so like I'll just text mine like, hey, where are we going this weekend? Nice. And then we kind of decide on a place together.
Are they all like similar age to you, or is it like all
ages? I'm usually by far the youngest person there.
Nice. Well, I mean,
there's not many Zoomers at the club. Oh, sorry.
There isn't.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, so there's not many younger kids at this. Is it like a dying thing? Like,
I don't know. I think that just maybe not many 20-year-olds are like interested in it.
It's better that way because they'll ruin it. Like you don't want kids.
Good point.
Those kids will come there. They'll have like a couple drinks. Like one night will be good, but then every other night turns into like a shit fest. That's like everyone's taking Molly.
How much is a drink there? Is it expensive, or maybe that's why the young kids are staying away?
No, it really depends on the place. Honestly, you know who I usually make friends with immediately is the bartenders.
That's the best person to make friends with.
Yeah, so I think because I can relate to them, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, how's your night?
You're in the biz, yeah.
Plus, they know everyone. Like, keep creepy old John's coming in. He'll be here around 8, so stay on this side of the bar.
Yeah. I'm sure the bartenders want to be friends with you as well. Like, let's not fucking be stupid here. Like they see you and they're like, all right, well, she's getting a free drink. You know what I mean? Like,
so my drinks are kind of usually free.
Must be nice.
You know what?
Be nice. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't know how much they usually cost.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to guess like $8 to $10. We're not at the $15 places. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
All right. That's not bad. What are you drinking though? Like a glass of wine or like a mixed drink?
Okay. So I'm a glass of wine girl on like a regular night.
Yeah.
If I'm out, I love vodka.
Just vodka by itself, or are you doing like
I like Tito's and lemonade.
Nice.
And like cranberry and vodka. Tito's is amazing.
Tito's. So Brand, this is like here's a little lesson for you in marketing. So Tito's apparently had been around for a while, but I don't ever remember them. And what they did is they just put on their vodka gluten-free. Now, almost all vodka is gluten-free, but they were the first one to print it on their label. And next thing I know, Tito's was outselling everyone. It was like when me and man were in high school and first in college, it was all about Absolute, and Tito's are playing at Absolute and everyone. And I swear to God, it's because they put gluten-free on a product that every product is gluten-free. So there you go.
Yeah, they didn't have to tell you it was gluten-free because it was always gluten-free. Yeah. No, and Pete says Absolute, but he really means Uncle Vladdy's. You remember Vladdy's?
When we were in high school. Yeah. That's because we were poor and cheap.
We used to do this thing where we would buy a gallon of water, a thing of Country Time lemonade, and then the handle gimmick of Vladdy's. We would pour out half of the gallon. Well, maybe like 2/3 we'd pour out. We'd fill the rest in with Uncle Vladdy's and then dump a bunch of Country Time lemonade mix in there and then just walk around and just,
Well, let's not forget that by the time I started drinking, Four Locos was the thing to drink.
Oh no, yeah,
never ever again. No way.
So I actually had not gotten into I only had drank Four Locos once. It was actually when I was living with Matt and Asshole. So I had I was out of college, I was a couple years out of college. I was working, so I wasn't in the demographic, but I had kept hearing about it. And then Pennsylvania made them illegal. So I'm like, oh, they're making them illegal. I have to get it. So I go to the beer distributor. I get a case of them. I drank 6 of them, and I did not sleep for a week because I didn't realize what it was. So I'm just sitting, just drinking 6 by myself. And I'm like, oh, now I'm just wide awake and drunk. I was anxious in my dreams for a month.
Yeah. I remember I came home that night and Pete, you were bouncing off the walls. You're like, bro, let's go do this. Hey, man, do you want to do this? Hey, this sounds fun. Come on, let's go. And I'm like, bro.
I actually think we may have gone and seen one of Burn Podcast, these shows back in the day. I think I brought a 6-pack over there.
Yeah, we went to see a friend of the show, former guest of the show, Burn Podcast. We went to see one of his shows downtown. He did a live sketch comedy show that was hilarious. But nice. So, okay. I know we've been on this topic a lot, but this is fascinating to me because so you'll go to you go to the gym every day. Like you said, I mean, GTL, man, gym tan laundry, got to get in. Hell yeah. That's the gimmick, right? So
favorite Jersey Shorecast member?
JWoww. Boobs. I don't know why.
Wow.
There you go. Shout out of the cannon, JWoww. She does not take shit. I understand it.
Yeah, I can see where you and JWoww, JWoww's punching situation in the face and doing all that stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like she's kind of cool. I feel like I can relate to her. She's she's cute, but she's the.
All right, fans, time for a break in the action, bringing back one of our favorite segments. This is Give It a Shot with our good friend Bob Quinn. If you're sick of wasting time surfing on a streaming service, finding nothing, then going to another streaming service and doing the same damn thing, then you need to start giving shit a shot. On this new segment, Bob Quinn will give us some suggestions on what to watch so you stop wasting time surfing and start enjoying those subscriptions that you're stealing. Bob, give us a shot.
Coming at you today with a TV show that appears on NBC and Hulu is The Young Rock. It's the life of young Dwayne The Rock Johnson. His episode runtime about 30 minutes. What I'm saying is, even if you're not a wrestling fan, give it a shot.
All right, that was Give It a Shot with our good friend Bob Quinn. Now, back to the show. So, okay, nice. So, all right, cool. So, yeah, you're out, you're partying, you're drinking Four Locos, you're doing the dancing. That's awesome. When you go to the gym, though, in the mornings, you're just treadmill, all that stuff, right?
No.
Oh.
Whoa.
Sorry, I asked.
Sorry, no, I don't really like.
She's doing. Are you doing heavy singles?
Yeah.
No, I like weightlifting more than I like cardio.
Wow, getting a pumping. All right. So what are you doing?
Breanna's hitting up the squat rack.
Yeah.
Yes, it's gotta do the squat rack. Gotta do the deadlifts. You gotta go for them.
Oh, you're going for the real ones. You're going all out.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm guessing no Smith machine, right? You do the real thing, ass to grass, normal squat.
You do the bar, the real bar, not the Smith machine? Damn. All right.
I do like the Smith machine, though. I don't know why people hate on it. I like it.
I mean,
girls
love it.
Yeah.
It
all depends on what you're going for.
Dude, when you go, what do you go to we won't say the name, but you go to a chain gym, right? Like one of those. So at those chain gyms, right? The guys some guys do legs, but let's be honest, right? Let's be honest. Guys aren't I see
we used to call it the curl rack because so many people were in the squat rack doing curls. You're like, what you son of a bitch.
Yeah. I mean, I don't need to do legs. All right.
I probably shouldn't be talking about this because I blew up my knee and haven't lifted in 3 years. But I remember back in the glory days.
Dude, but it is the thing where every woman I see at every woman I see at the gym now does cardio, right? Does core and does legs, and then leaves, right? And then Breanna, I hope you're not one of those girls that basically shows up to the gym in their underwear. Because that's just
I can't because I I really
Just
hate when
uncomfortable.
people freaking look at me when I'm at the gym. I'm more like I look like a celebrity hiding from paparazzi at the gym. I'm like,
Dude, honestly, that like I don't know, like to me, I feel like it's almost uncomfortable for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm like I don't want to like yeah, okay, you're wearing like your stuff and you like women like wear their like they're like it's like they're wearing like boy shorts and a sports bra, right? And nothing else. And I'm like, I don't want to look at that. Like I'm married. I don't like good for you, but this is awkward. I'm trying to like bang out some, tricep extensions, and you're just over there like,
yeah, it's not like I'm over there with like one ball hanging out, like doing reps. Like,
yeah, seriously,
Yeah.
it's like, come on.
Try not to look. I dare you.
I mean, and then you do like, I mean, I don't know if women have to deal with this, but men have to deal with this all the time. But the old men in the locker room, dude, get the message, guys. There's no walking around naked in the locker room anymore. That ship has sailed. Let's please stop that. I don't know. Do women have the same thing where it's just like old women just like paps hitting the floor? Like what is going on?
I used to have that. Like I used to see that in my old gym. I haven't seen it in this gym. And this gym's like a little bit different, which is why I stayed here for a while, is because like usually the guys aren't very aggressive. The girls kind of, I mean, there's a lot of girls that wear like the shorts and the sports bras. I feel like those like my body shape, like I don't want to wear shorts because I feel like they ride up and I'm not trying to worry about them riding up the whole time. And like,
you want to be comfortable, right?
I'm trying to wear something like loose so you can't see like me jumping around and like
she looks borderline homeless when she shows up. She's got the old Rocky sweats on with no elastic at the bottom. Trunks.
I have some Gymshark leggings, but they're full leggings. I don't I've never worn shorts to the gym. It's just not my thing. But
there's some, I mean, I feel like for some women it's a thing, like they want the attention, they want to be looked at, and I understand that. They like, especially everyone has body issues, and I get it and they want to feel that way, but you shouldn't be, I mean, I don't know, it's like, then don't be upset when people look at you either, you know what I mean? Like if you're gonna dress like that, then just like you should be.
I think that's all it is. Like, if you dress a certain way, you expect people. But if you worked for it, you're proud of it. I'm not gonna begrudge anybody. If you want to
show it off and you want people to look at it, by all means, I'm not gonna stop you. I'm just saying, don't get pissed when people do. Do you have that too? Like, I mean, this seems like a common theme. We got the bar now, the gym, like. Do guys like that is something where like, or like, if you were to dress a certain way, do you think men would be more apt to come up and try and like, talk to you and like get your numbers and stuff like that?
Yeah. I mean, I think people usually like, when you're somewhere and then someone makes eye contact with you, I kind of like shut that down with my face immediately. I'm just like,
that's where the RBF comes from.
Like don't even come over here.
Yikes. Yeah. You just gave us the face. They were like, oh, we're not dancing. That's for sure. Yeah. But no.
So you just got to shut it down really fast. It's like, don't even think about coming over here. So, But I mean, like I said, there's like, even with the girls that would wear whatever they want to wear, like to each their own, like people shouldn't really come up and invade your space.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're
at the gym.
Yeah, you're just trying to get a workout in, man. Like nobody's
no matter what you're wearing, everyone's sweaty.
Yeah, I've seen this. This is the move I've seen where it's like a dude, right? He'll see a chick at a gym that he's like thinking like is looking good, whatever. He wants to go like hit on her. He goes up and instead of like hitting on her, he'll like critique her technique on what she's doing.
Oh,
so
yeah,
be like,
advice.
Yeah, he'll be like, oh, you need to keep your feet further apart when you're doing squats and don't be on your heels and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, you just made everything so awkward in here. Like now everyone like is just like
you hit 47 degrees, not the full 45 on that squat.
Yeah.
I had something like that happen when I first started working out. Like, and it was just, this is why I actually don't wear shorts to the gym, because this one time I wore shorts to the gym and like a shorts and a sweatshirt. Okay, so I'm still kind of looking homeless. All right.
Yeah.
I didn't change my look. Okay.
Homeless is the look. Yeah.
So I'm on this machine where you can either go like this way or you can turn around and do it like the other way.
Yeah. The flies.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm on that and I'm trying. I have really no idea what I'm doing, but I'm just trying. And this guy comes over and he goes, So you have to like lean forward more and kind of like stick your butt out more. And I'm like, this feels weird, but all right. And then I'm like trying it out. And I'm like, maybe I'm doing this wrong. Then I'm looking at him and he's just looking at my butt. And he said something like, oh, now I got the view I wanted. And I was like, yep. So that's the last time I wear shorts to the gym.
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
God, that makes me angry just to think about. Like, what?
People are such weirdos.
How old was this guy?
He actually wasn't that old. Maybe like 30 something. Like, I don't know. I don't think he was 40.
That old. We're 30 something, Breanna. God.
You're not that old.
Oh, the thing I like about it too is just the fly machine. Like, it's one thing like if it's like squats or deadlift, you're like, oh, you know what? Like, I don't want this person to get hurt. Like, it's a machine. Like, it's the most self-explanatory thing. Like, I just go like this. Like,
yeah. Shout out to you for using doing an upper body machine as well. Good for you.
I'm getting into my upper body right now. I'm like totally into upper body right now.
Yeah. What's your favorite workouts at the gym?
Well, my favorite workouts at the gym are probably ab exercises.
Of course.
Because I love ab day. But
everybody does.
But now I'm trying to get into it. Like, my boyfriend's actually showing me more on like back movements.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Me and Pete were blessed to be like perfect specimens, so we never really have to work. Nice. Kind of a plus.
I have the curse of our family where it's like if you eat anything, you just gain 12 pounds immediately.
Yeah, always looking. I mean, you don't look. I'm not saying you do, but for me, if you eat anything with carbohydrates in it, you're automatically bloated. It's like the worst. Yeah, really got shit for genes. Let me tell you.
What the heck?
Yeah, it's a thing. What are you gonna do? So okay, so let's keep it moving. We talked about dance. We talked about gym. Really happy that we did get to talk about it because that was fascinating. So some other things that you like to do besides dancing, you're dancing the night away, dance revolution, dancing all the time, is you like to paint, right? So this will come in, we'll talk about this later because this comes into your current job right now. And then, like we said, you like to go to the gym and things like that. So let's get into why we're here. We're getting into the bacon. We're going over some jobs. So I will say this, it's a common theme in our family, the Lavelle family, that you work at a certain establishment that previously on the show has been, we'll just talk about, it's a fast food place that sells ice cream and, well, let's just say they're royalty at selling ice cream, right? Yeah. So this royal place.
Pony Boy was a big fan of them.
Yeah, God, dude, stay golden, Pony Boy. Shout out, great movie. Love The Outsiders. Breanna, have you ever seen?
One of my favorite books.
They made a movie
was good too, but the book, fire.
Oh, yep. Actually, so when I I think was it freshman year you read that book?
Yeah.
But I remember I had an old English teacher and he hated it because I guess it replaced Catcher in the Rye. So he just despairs the book the entire time. I'm like, I don't know, man. I kind of like this book. There's like a knife fight in it. Like it's pretty sweet.
The movie was even better. Plus, too, I like Dallas Winston. He's one of the guys I wanted to be all the time. Dally, played by Matt Dillon in the movie. He was like an all-timer.
Did you guys know there was a follow-up book? There was like a sequel.
This is then. That was then. This is now. Right?
Is that what it was? I can't remember. I just remember I read it on my own.
I believe so, but it wasn't as good. Like one of the characters' names was Eminem because he always had M&Ms in his pocket, and I'm like,
he turned in like his best friend for like some trivial shit, and like it was supposed to be like, oh, this is like him being a good guy. I'm like, no, man, you just turned in your boy for nothing.
Yeah, dude. Plus, too, if you look at that movie, star-studded cast. I was always told too, like we would characterize like the people in our neighborhood a lot as like who they would be in the movie, and I was always Soda Pop Curtis. Or no, I wasn't Soda Pop Curtis. I was Two Bit Matthews, aka Emilio Estevez. So there you go. So nice. All right, cool. Glad to hear that you were reading. Very good.
Oh, I'm an avid reader. I actually love to read.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you didn't mention that. Nice. What so do you read audiobooks? I'm a big audiobooks guy too, but I used to read a lot because I saw the movie Good Will Hunting, and he read a lot, and then the chicks dug the guys that read, so I was reading even though I wasn't very good at it. And then audiobooks came into the game, and now I'm like an audiobooks addict. Love Audible. Shout out Audible. Love you. If you want to sponsor the show, let me know. So either way, so like we said, so let's get started. You started your first job was working at a fast food restaurant that sold a milk-based ice cream product, and they were royalty at it. You worked there at the age of 15. I will say this, I worked there as well. My older brother, Asshole, worked there, and my older sister, Natalie, worked there as well. I fucking hated this place. I hated working there. I hated the job. I had my previous job before this one, I was a busboy dishwasher. So I was getting cash like every night, cash in the hand, doing the thing, you know, like that I liked. This paycheck gimmick, like every 2 weeks with like half of it gone to taxes. Old Uncle Matty wasn't digging that. Let me tell you, still not a big fan of it. So either way, you started working at this place, Breanna. What did you think? What'd you like? What'd you learn? I mean, how did you feel about it? And how long were you there?
I actually didn't mind it too much.
Wow.
So,
shit all over me.
Sorry. Some of my friends worked there too at the same time. So
okay, that's cool.
We goofed around a lot. Honestly, I wasn't the best employee, I don't think, because we just kind of hung out a lot, and like I ate a lot of ice cream and oh my god, chicken fingers.
Oh,
and
they had like a honey mustard chicken salad to die for. Not even a salad guy, but those, you're right, the chicken fingers, pretty good.
Yeah, the only thing is that their main item that they sell, I'm not a fan of. So like the mixed one.
Oh, is that the one where it's like a very bad snowstorm, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's what you would call a very bad snowstorm. Yeah.
I'm not a fan, but I loved their sundaes, and I would make my own. And so now whenever I go back, no one can make it away. I'm like, listen, I need you to put caramel sauce at the bottom. You're going to go in and you're going to put a little bit of vanilla. Then you're going to do some sprinkles. More vanilla, caramel sauce, more sprinkles. What is so hard to understand here? They never make it right.
Wow. I mean, I'm not going to lie. That sounds absolutely incredible. And you're talking about the rainbow sprinkles as well, right?
Rainbow. And sometimes when I'm feeling a little extra, I throw some cookie dough on top.
Wow.
All right.
We just changed the game here. Okay. So let's back this up. You get the container. Step 1, caramel sauce.
Yeah.
Step 2, whack it with like one thing of soft serve vanilla, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then more caramel sauce. Then
sprinkles.
Oh, okay. Whoa. I messed it up. So step 3 is sprinkles.
And then caramel a little bit.
Okay. So sprinkles, caramel is like the middle layer.
Yeah.
Right. Then you put another whack of vanilla soft serve. Then sprinkles.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're feeling fruity, a little bit of cookie dough.
Yeah.
And is there caramel on top as well?
It really depends how much caramel I put in. Like, I don't want too much caramel. But you know when you get a sundae and they like give you like a little like BS freaking sprinkle on top and you have none at the end? What is that?
Yeah.
Why?
It's communism is what it is. And we don't stand for it here. We're bleeding red, white, and blue.
You're not paying for these sprinkles. I know how many you have in the back.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Yeah. They sell them by the ton.
Yeah, seriously.
I like your ice cream game because it reminds me of why, like, I like to go to the movies, and when you get popcorn at the movies, you can either they butter it for you or you butter yourself. And it's never as good as when you butter yourself because it's all on top. Like, when you have the guy that, like, does half a bag, fills it up, does the other half, and then I'm like, that's a butter. He knows what he's doing.
That's
and
a gentleman.
I think you had the same thing with your ice cream. You're like, look, I want my jimmies throughout or my sprinkles throughout.
Yeah. You're right. And you deserve them.
It's
every bite,
every
bite deserves to have caramels and jimmies in it or sprinkles.
Yes.
I think jimmies are the balls and sprinkles are the long ones. Am I right? Am I wrong? I don't know. Who knows anymore?
I'm not sure.
It's an ongoing debate. I feel like they're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I actually, you guys would be happy to hear this. Ripped some guy's head off today because he didn't know what a hogie was.
What?
I was like, well, you're a fucking dead man. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. So you're working at the this royal establishment, right? You're learning how to make what sounds to be like an incredible sundae, where you're getting something in every scoop, right? Like you're not just if you wanted just vanilla soft serve, that's what you're getting. But you want something in every scoop, and you deserve something in every scoop, right? So either way, we move on from there. You leave there, then you become a waitress at a Spanish restaurant, and you were there for a couple years. So
Is this where the love of dancing came in?
I was just about to ask.
No.
Is this where you started meeting like Spanish friends, or what? Like,
No, I had already started dancing before this, and somebody had said like, "Oh, this person's hiring," and basically I like faked it because they were like, "Do you speak Spanish?" I'm like, Spanish.
you're like, I speak kitchen Spanish a little bit.
C, yeah, you just answer it with C, and you see.
And I could say I speak. I mean, I spoke a little bit.
Yeah.
But this is really where I learned to speak so much more Spanish.
Yeah.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, cinco, seis.
Employees or none of the chefs or anything like that spoke any English. So.
Oh, real? Wow. Yeah, I mean, that, even if it wasn't a
quick.
Spanish restaurant.
Yeah.
I worked in and I will say this, in most restaurants, the kitchen staff and a portion of the wait staff is usually like Spanish, Latino, whatever. And when I was working at this restaurant called Vinny T's, Pete knows Vinny T's very well. I was working there, and there was like a ton of Spanish people that worked there, right? And they're like some of the best people I've ever met in my life, and I loved every one of them, right? And I would ask them to teach me sentences. So I asked them to teach me "Me gusto los culos de grandes y no puedo mentir," means I like big butts and I cannot lie. Yep. And then nunca confíes en un gran culo y un sonrisa means never trust a big butt and a smile. And that's what I learned, as well as like a ton of curse words. And yeah, but other than that, and like I remember one time, like the one guy's like, he was calling me American, and I'm like, yeah, I'm an American. And he's like, American? I was like, yeah, duh, I'm an American. And he's like, yeah, American. And I found out that meant you're gay. Right. And I was like, oh, what the hell is this? So yeah, they're tricksters. Okay. So you're at the Spanish restaurant. How did you like working for like waitressing, working for tips? Like, cause that was your first foray into like the cash game, right?
Okay. So once I figured out, well, let's just, at this point, I'm like, I don't know, 16. I had a huge thing for shopping. And I was making like 100. Has that
changed?
Yeah, no. That has not changed.
Okay. It's evolved.
So I was making like $120 a day cash at 16.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty good.
I was ecstatic. Like I mean, there was I was like, I'm getting new dresses constantly. You'll never see me in the same outfit ever again.
Oh wow! So you were like legit, just like $120
Outsiders on Blu-ray. Here we come.
Yeah. You were like really like at that age, if you're making that amount of money, yeah, no wonder you got to raise.
There was no Vladimir's vodka for her in high school, Matt.
Yeah, she was drinking Grey Goose.
Grey Goose, yeah. I was gonna say I hated black.
So nice. So speaking of, so that's pretty cool then. So like as I remember, like my big thing when I was in high school was always buying like shoes. I love to buy shoes. I still love to buy them, but I can't anymore because my wife will leave me. So, but I, I used to be a big fan of like shoes. I had like a ton of sneakers, but not anymore. Those days are long gone. I have a daughter. She gets new shoes every week. It is a thing. But either way, so you're making money, you're spending money there. So you're there for a couple of years, then you transition from a waitress to the family business of being a bartender, right? And you're also doing bottle service at like big nightclubs. And you're doing this from the age of 18 till you're 21, right? So at this time, you're also moving around a lot. Is that right?
Like from club to club, you mean?
I believe, yeah.
So, I mainly stayed at the one for a while. And I started there because I didn't know how to do anything yet. I started as like front, like a check-in, like you checked in. I did like coat check, or I just did. I would literally sometimes my job would just be like, come here, I'll walk you to your table, and that was my job. That was it.
You're kind of like a hostess.
Yeah. So, but like I had to wear a really cute outfit.
Right. You're okay. So this is like you're starting as eye candy. Right. Yeah.
I just walked from like 10 feet, and that was it.
Yeah. Would you get like tipped too as a hostess? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I started making more money as like a coach. Once I moved to a coat checker, I was making like $400 cash a night, right? So I'm like,
Jesus.
I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah. And you're like this is between the ages of 18 and 21. So
yeah.
To be fair, this was like 6 years ago. Right.
Yeah. It's like it feels like a lifetime ago, but it was like 6 years ago. And going, my mom I would come in, I'm like, Mom, look how much money I made.
Like, and she's like, get me a job there.
Yeah, she's like, this is really, she's like, I don't know if you know, you're actually making really good money. And I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. And I only had to work 2 days a week and like $300-400 each night. And I was like, wow.
Oh my God.
Great.
What were you?
In the meantime, I think when I was bouncing in those same kind of clubs, I was making $11 an hour to toss firemen out, like and their friends.
Same.
And have them like wait for me afterwards too. Like, I'm gonna meet you. I'm like, yeah, sure you will, bud.
Well, as I'm talking about this, I'm like, well, maybe I should leave my job. No. All of
a sudden, like you're like, oh, COVID's over, the bars are opening up.
No. So, but like that, it is fun at like a young age, but that's a like I mean that lifestyle is like
it gets old quick.
Like you like I've always said this, to do that type of work, you need to be in shape, like in like I would call it like bartending shape to do that, like being on your feet all night, hustling, still like being late at night and being like having to throw people out. Like you need to be, you know, it takes a little like chutzpah to be able to do that stuff. It's not easy. Right. But I mean, I'm sure the clubs you were working at had a security detail, right?
Yeah, I usually had someone specifically assigned to like a group of me and like 2 other girls or something like that.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Like we weren't allowed to go anywhere without them. And then once I moved to bottle service, which is bottle service is crazy. It's just a crazy experience.
So I've never really like done that. Like what is the bottle service like? Like what are
like for the consumer?
Yeah, like so yeah, say if I wanted to get bottle service, what am I doing?
Okay, so you have to reserve a table, which you can do through by like calling the club, or if you know like one of the I'm trying to think of what these guys are called, but they're like
promoters.
There we go. You have to call one of the promoters and get one on like one of their lists, and you'll be assigned to like either like, it depends on the club. So either like I would have my own table, or there'd be a group of girls that would be like handling one table. You say I would have 10 people, I would say, okay, you have to buy at least 4 bottles. Something like that.
Right. So so it's like, okay, this many people get this many bottles. Yep.
Right. And the bottles, I mean, if you could get a bottle for like $200 in like a place like this, you're doing great. Like that was the
absolute. 200 was the absolute. There you go. Your fifth of a $35 vodka, if that.
Oh yeah. Wow.
I always tell the story that which I used to work Latin nights a lot at this
seems
club.
Like a theme here.
It is. I think my boss like knew like, oh, she speaks Spanish. Oh, like she can handle this or whatever.
Yeah.
And
so
Latin
he just kind of another life. Yeah.
So maybe.
Yeah.
So he utilized that, but I would sell a 12 pack of like Modelos for $80.
Jesus.
A 12 pack?
A 12 pack all
of bottles?
Day. Like all day. No, cans.
12 pack of Modelo cans for $80. You could get like 10 cases of that for $80.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was like, I mean, so whatever. So when the bottle service was even crazier, because like a bottle of like Jack Daniels could like start around $400, and you're like, what the hell are these people thinking?
So like someone comes in, they're like, yo, I'm here with my crew, right? we're gonna get so you'd call, like you'd reserve like an area, right? And then so 8 o'clock rolls around, you know, S7K, the dance crew runs in. And we're like, here, we're going to drink and we're going to dance, and we're not going to do both. Okay. So either way, you get to your table, right? And then Breanna comes up like, hi, I'm going to be your bottle service girl. You have 10 people. I would suggest getting 4 bottles just so you don't run out right away. And they're like, yeah, 4.
Yeah. How did you sell it?
Yeah.
That's a good, how did the salesmanship go?
Yeah. So I guess there's no like, I would suggest you get that. It's like, yeah, like you're not sitting here unless you get that kind of, it's more like that. And so, and like,
but was it like right there right away, or would you take their order and you're like, actually, minimum
it's
is
not on me. It's more so like, they'd be like, I want a table. I'm like, okay, well, how many people do you have? Okay. Like my boss says you have to get this many or whatever.
Gotcha. So
and I'm pulling the sweetheart card from the beginning. Like, you know the same one I've been using for 20 years.
It's not me, it's my boss.
Exactly. He's the worst. I don't know what's wrong with him.
Yeah,
No.
he's a jerk.
He gets mad
No
at me if you don't
none of
get
us
5
like him.
bottles. Yeah. He said he's
No.
gonna fire me if you don't buy 6 bottles right now. Yeah.
But you
Right,
have to
so-
like, you sell it by the experience. Like if I'm grabbing this empty water bottle, but if I'm grabbing it, so usually I have sparklers. I'm coming over with a sign. Like it's an event.
Oh,
It's
it's
like
an
you
event. Yeah, you
bought
have
a
to make it, yeah.
bottle,
Do
it's a
you have
scheme.
to bring that stuff, or is that supplied by like the sparklers and like the sign?
Well, my boss supplies it. He's like,
Okay,
here's so
okay.
you have this many sparklers.
they-
Use them
so-
wisely.
Yeah, so it was like a thing then. So like, okay.
Yeah. And then like you come over, like all the girls come over when you buy a bottle. All of us, we all go over. We're like, woo, yeah, here goes your bottle. And like, and
You did it! You got to the club and paid for the bottle.
Yeah, like here's your 12-pack of Modelo.
You won
Yeah.
capitalism. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but
you
it's
walk
a
over,
crazy
you have the
experience.
sign, you have the sparklers, the other girls are like, whoop de doo, right? Like you're doing your
Yeah.
thing. And then they get it, and then like, is that it? Are you like, do you have to get them ice? Are you refilling like more bottles? Like, how does it work?
Yeah, so you constantly keep out ice. And then like every half hour, just come and like dump that ice, get new ice, new cups, like new straws. I always go to check on the girls that are with them, make sure like they don't need anything. If they need any special
Smart-
drinks, I
smart
go
move.
get them.
Smart move.
Yeah.
This is
And
what I
then-
love. Is you spend all this money for a bottle of liquor that you end up pouring yourself the entire night.
Yeah. You do.
You
Honestly,
serve
like
yourself.
I'll serve the first drink sometimes, like if I'm like not crazy
Yeah,
busy.
you call. Yeah, here you go.
You know what I mean? But yeah, a lot of times it's self-serve, and then they would break like 20% gratuity into each bottle. And then most of the time people tip on top of that. So like I said, usually the bottles are like $400. So it's like $80 each.
Yeah.
For minimum, you're talking $360.
Yeah.
And
And that's
then,
one gimmick. Yeah.
It's one table, and then tips usually on top of that. So like, I mean, it was just a crazy job, and it was honestly, I really liked it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And like
but-
you're meeting people you're meeting like sports celebrities and like things like that as well, right? Like these are like, and like music people, like are those the type of people coming in?
Yeah, so I was saying that like basically I wanted to talk to people who had like jobs and stuff that I was looking forward to having when I was older, and
Yeah.
like they were just kind of like, yeah, I'm like not really trying to have this conversation in the middle of a club, which I totally get.
Right.
But I've seen them like every week and stuff like that, and so like it's just now
Yeah.
kind of starting to hit to where they're like, oh, I see you're like in business now. I'm like, yeah, I was trying to tell you that like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, hey man, you could have been here from the beginning, but you
Yeah.
just were like preoccupied with your bottles, you know?
Yeah.
Man, that's cool. So like you would see like entrepreneurs, you would see like pseudo celebrities, but would you say you were more interested in speaking with the entrepreneurs and the pseudo celebrities then? Like you wanted to talk to the
Oh,
business
yeah.
guys. You're like, look, I'm trying to do this. What like how would you
Yeah.
go?
Or you
about
wanted
it?
JWoww, who was both celebrity and an entrepreneur.
I never met her. You know what? That's like a lot of the girls kind of like, you know, flock to like the NFL players and stuff like that. I usually flocked away from them.
especially here in Philadelphia. The NFL,
Like,
basketball, yeah.
Yeah,
Brandon's
NHL.
like, give me my Jeff Bezos.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, tell me more about your e-commerce business.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
What was your effective tax rate last year? Are you sure you're not maximizing your deductions?
Oh my god. That's hilarious to think like there's like all these like guys at the club, like super serious athletes, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like total specimens, dressed to the nines, buying all these booze, and then you got some dork there that just created like the new fast, like the guy who's like, I just created that Snapchat. What do you think? You know, and you're like, hey, how did you set that up? What's your social media like? Blah, blah, blah. You know, like that's how you
If
did
you
it.
guys don't mind, I have my one story of when I was bouncing and somebody tried to flex on me. So,
do it. Let's go.
So, Breanna, I bounced at McFadden's, both the one at 3rd Street and the one at the ballpark. And, you know, McFadden's was real close to, what was the place? Finnegan's Wake.
Yep.
So anyway, I'm bouncing there the one time, and this one guy and his wife are like making an ass out of himself. I just tell him like to stop doing it, and the guy's like, "Do you know who I am?" I'm like, "I have no idea who you are. I don't care." I'm like 20, 21, and anyway, like I go to kick him out, and it turns out he's the guy that like owns Finnegan's Wake, and he's like, "You're never going to work in this town again." I'm like, "I'm a bouncer. I make $11 an hour. How much worse could it get?" Plus, I'm like graduating in a couple of years. So, I kick him out, and then at the end, he's like, let me take your number and your name. So I start giving my number. It's 567 or it's 867-5309, and he puts that on his phone. And then he's like, well, what's your name? And I'm like, it's John. And he writes that down. I'm like, Jacob Jingleheimer. As he's writing Jingleheimer's right, goes, he's making fun of you. And I'm like, of course I'm making fun of this asshole.
Yeah. Hey,
but
you didn't get it when you said 8675309.
He was drunk. He was completely drunk. Yeah. But anyway, the asshole that used to own Finnegan's Wake, you did not stop me from getting a job. You'll never stop me from getting a job. So eat it.
Go eat a fat. What a piece of shit.
I ran into Joel Embiid was at the park one time. And I remember I didn't serve him or anything.
Oh, you didn't serve him.
Yeah. So but I remember everyone's like, I just walked in and I'm like, wow, that guy's super tall. And then everybody's like, you don't know who that is? And I'm like, no. And that's how I wasn't most of the players. I just was like, you don't know who that is? I'm like, not a clue.
Yeah.
But I would I remember the one time this entrepreneur came in and we had a super strict dress code, and so you couldn't come in sneakers at all. It was an absolute not happening.
Yeah.
And so this guy was wearing black spiky Louboutins, and they're like, he can't come in. I'm like,
do you know what that is?
I'm like, his shoes are $6,000, buddy. He could come in.
Yeah.
You're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, show him the bottom of your shoe.
These aren't Air Force Ones.
I'm like, doesn't recognize Joel Embiid, but I will recognize those shoes.
I mean, hey,
hey, you probably stopped them from losing out on a couple grand that night because somebody's wearing those shoes is throwing down pretty hard.
Yep.
Exactly. Plus, too, I mean, an entrepreneur could offer you a lot more than a professional basketball player could anyway, right? As far as if you're looking for future opportunities, you know what I mean? I'm not saying basketball players can't offer anything. I'm just saying for you, right? What's Joel Embiid gonna do? Teach you how to play basketball? This guy can teach you how to build a business from the ground up. I think that's way more valuable.
I could use a basketball lesson probably for sure, but
yeah, I think we all could. But all right, fans, time for breaking the action to bring back one of our favorite segments. This is What's Going Down in Gamer Town with our good friend Dominic McGinley, aka the Dami Llama. Llama, what's going down in Gamer Town?
All right, so I'm feeling a little nostalgia right now, and when it comes to nostalgia in the world of gaming, there is one game I never get tired of, and that is Super Smash Bros. Melee, the second installment of the Super Smash Bros. Series, released for the Nintendo GameCube almost 2 years after the first installment for the Nintendo 64. Man, no other game has blown my mind like this one. This game features many playable characters from the Nintendo franchises such as Super Mario, Legend of Zelda, Star Fox, Pokemon, and many more. The graphics are unbelievable for 2001, has a kick-ass soundtrack, many stages and game modes to choose from, and I always had a great time playing whether I was with my friends, brothers, or just by myself. Almost 20 years later, this game never ceases to amaze me.
All right, that was another rousing segment of What's Going Down in Gamer Town with our good friend Dominic McGinley, aka Dami Llama. Now, back to the show. Nice. Okay, so let's keep it moving then, because that's a fascinating job. That's something me and Pete would never do. I would never. I don't think I could get a job bottle service at a nightclub. You know what I mean? So
I don't think they really hire guys just for that.
Yeah, no, 100% they do not. They do.
Matt,
not.
The best we can do is bartender.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even make it that far. You did.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And and it's not like I'm bartending at a nightclub either, because either you have to be like a jacked, ripped Guido kind of guy, or you got to be like a model. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you this. I don't know. I bet I made more money at the places I did than they did, because you make a ton of money at the blue collar spots. They're really good to you,
Yeah.
So, okay. So let's keep it going. You're at you're doing bottle service at the nightclub, and then you're in your last semester at college, and then you left there, become a social media manager at this air conditioning company, right? Yeah. And you weren't there that long. And then why did you leave that company?
Yeah, so first things first, it was great company, loved everyone I worked with, and it was what I wanted. It was
the office
salary
job.
I wanted. It was like the benefits. It was like everything I wanted, but it wasn't right. I just like feel like I was like, it's not here for me.
Yeah.
And I just want to interject real quick because this is one of those things where it's like a Zoomer experience. Like social media manager did not exist for any generation before yours. And it's like, like people like, they love it. You see the Wendy's going after the Burger King on Twitter and all that stuff. And I'm like, that's a fucking job. Like someone's like, you know what? I'm going to run the Wendy's Twitter account. So like, that's just like,
but dude, that's like, but you're right. Where like, there's times like, I remember I saw this thing where like WWE guy, he hit up the Wendy's Twitter and he's like, I've been waiting for my sandwich for like 10 minutes. And then the Wendy's Twitter was like, please don't, power slam the Wendy's. We'll have your chicken out in a minute. Like there's no, like, that wasn't a court. Like there was no, like, that's not some, 60-year-old manager that's a VP of a company talking to like a potential major representative, but that's free advertising that they got to millions of people saw that from some, Zoom kid, right? Or whatever, like to some, DuckTales generation wannabe, right? So, okay. So you're there, like, this is like your first kind of office experience. You're doing your thing. You're enjoying it, kind of like you like the people you work with. You're in an office setting, which is like the professional setting you wanted to be. You have a salary, you get your bennies, you get your 401k, like started, like all that gimmick, right? You're there. Then what happens?
What's the day-to-day? Yeah, give us the day-to-day in the social media manager. How do the burns come up? Like, what were you doing?
So for them, they had a lot of like local competition. So I was trying to use like search engine optimization along with their website to try and like put them up in the ratings when you were just going to look for someone like that.
So this is like when somebody Googles them, they're on the front page.
Yeah, and they were already in the front page, but I was kind of trying like push their competition out of my way.
How do you get search engine optimization?
I mean, there's a lot to SEO. There's a lot to it, but for them specifically, we were doing like a lot of like check-ins with like pictures and stuff like that. So it looked like there was a lot more activity going on. And so like Google would recognize like, oh, there's a lot going on here on their website. Like there's people checking in here and there, and like we're posting pictures of jobs we did, and they didn't really have.
So just for the people, like I guess just for the people that are listening, it's kind of like basically Google has algorithms. There are certain things that if you do, Google recognizes like, okay, we're going to bump you up, and your job is to say, how do I get to the top of the Google? What are the check marks I have to hit? And then just make sure we're doing that. Like figuring out how Google works so that you can make sure that your guys are the best ones.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah.
That's genius though. That is genius, right? Yeah. Like, and that's not easy either. So you have to convince.
Well, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I Google everything, and if it's the first page, like I never go to the second page.
Everybody does. Everybody does. You're exactly right. You're 100% right.
Whatever it is, you always go to the first page.
Do you think reviews help with that too? Like the more 5-star reviews you get, that's like the gimmick. Yeah. So people listening, rate 5 stars for us, please. We'd like some Google optimization. You sons of bitches. All right. So nice. So, but that's something too, like Pete went to college, like you'd have people that are in the same field that probably have been there for years, right? Like at your company, not doing the same thing, right? Like they're doing something different, right? But like you're more of an asset to someone that, like, potentially you're more of an asset to someone that's been like a paper pusher there for like 20 years, like, cause you're being creative and you're having like finding ways to become like, like find this optimization and discover this thing, which like people didn't really know about this prior to you doing it. Right. Yeah, but now Breanna, it's a necessity.
Were you their first social media manager, or had they had somebody before that?
I think he told me he had someone who was like a secretary / dabbling in social media.
But it wasn't like
so you were the first one that they hired. That this is your area and this is what you're going to work on.
Yeah, it was like a designated role.
I mean, and he knew what he was doing. He actually had a marketing company outside of this, so where he would do this for other people.
Yeah.
But nice. It was more, I think the hardest part is actually trying to take old practices and use them in like the newer social media technology and getting people to go along with it, because a lot of people are resistant to it.
Yeah.
And I try to explain, like, when you're hiring someone to come out to your house and be in your home with your family to fix like your air conditioner or something like that, like you want to kind of trust that person that's behind the company and you
Yeah.
have to really show like the human side behind that. So you're not
Yeah.
sending like crazy people over to their house. Like,
Yeah.
let me
Yeah,
see
you
your
want
air conditioner.
Yeah, that's for us, like we have a like I know every neighborhood has like their Facebook page, and for us, you know, we're Manioc, so we have the Roxborough Rants and Raves page, yeah. But that is like kind of how I find my handymen and everything is it's just like, hey, people like these guys, they're on the page, like they're getting promoted, and I kind of like,
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Yeah, it is, but that's just how the world is now. But that's a great thing though. Like to be able to stay that connected. Like everyone's kind of got a guy, right? You know, or you can find oh, I got a guy for this, or you know what I mean? Like that's Google's like the ultimate got a guy.
It's not the take out the yellow pages, drop it open, and be like, all right, I guess I'll see what happens.
I mean, but I will say this: social media is huge, but referral by word of mouth is still, I think, number one. That's I feel like.
Well, I think that's what this is. This is the
people
combination. Social media is the combination of word of mouth and marketing coming together. Where it's like, okay, now I have these marketing companies, and then I have like the actual human inner experience, and I'm bringing it together and making it one little marketing baby.
Not just good looking, but you're a genius as well. So, all right, let's keep it moving. So, all right. So you're running the social media manager at the air conditioning company. You leave there, and this is where you start going down a road where good on you, man. So you're 21 at this time, right? And you leave a salary-based position in a job you're very comfortable and successful at, and you had all the things you wanted, the benefits, the 401k, all that stuff. You leave all that, right, to start your own business. And we're going to have a link to everything, like your Instagram, your website, everything. There'll be a link in the description of this episode with all of this stuff. It's
Matt, 4.9 stars on Google. I don't know who the asshole is who didn't go for a full 5, but that son of a bitch.
Yeah, Reurban it. Reurban it. I'm gonna spell RE-URBAN space it. Reurban it. It's a fantastic follow on Instagram. You get to see Breanna's work on a daily basis. I love all her pictures that she sends out. And honestly, she has a couple skills here that I really didn't even know existed. But when thinking about it, it's absolutely fascinating. And the business that she has, it's ingenious. And she does a great job marketing herself, running the day-to-day. She has employees that work for her. And she's only 24 years old. She's been doing this since she was 21, right?
Now, Matt,
yeah.
I don't know what this place does. I'm just scrolling through Facebook, and I can tell you right now, when I show my wife, we're going to be visiting.
No, bro, dude. Talk about location. She's located in Bristol, right on the water. She's got a beautiful shop there. People could come in and check it out. Her social media presence is unbelievable. She's also too, think about this. She was 21, so 3 years ago she started it. A year and a half into the gimmick, right?
Yeah.
Pandemic hits, right?
Oh.
Right. So a lot of people would have folded, right? But you know. Like she is saying before, she's determined. When she has a goal, she sets her mind to it and she does it. She's not a pushover. She's not easily swayed. She saw the end in sight. She stuck with it. She hung tough. She was able to get through that and thrive. Right. And now she has a business that's thriving. Right. So I kind of want to get into it. Really excited to talk about this because this is something a young entrepreneur business owner who knows what she wants, likes to do, not afraid to do it her way and take risks. So I want to start this first. So the name of the company is Reurban It. So I want to talk about how did you come up with the name for Reurban It?
You know what? People always ask me this question and I wish I had a really good answer. It's hit me up. No, it was, I wanted re in it in the beginning. And I wanted it at the end. And that's all I knew. I was like, something has to go in the middle, but I know it's ending here. And my mom and me are throwing things together. What about this? What about this? And then she says, well, we were located in the city then. So she was like, well, how about Reurban It? And I was like, oh my God, genius. My mom is a freaking genius.
Shout out to your mom too. Love your mom.
Serious. The biggest shout out to my mom.
So let's talk. So Reurban It, what you're doing is you're refurbishing and refurbishing and redoing furniture, but that's not all you're doing. You're staging houses, you're repairing old furniture, you're flipping houses, right? Like this is all kind of comes into like the different streams of income that you have added with just this one place. So Reurban It, you're taking furniture, and we'll have like pictures and stuff on your promo poster and everything like that. And we'll try and splice some pictures into the video edit, but the stuff you're putting out there is phenomenal. And we had talked about this earlier, where painting is like one of your hobbies and something you like to do. And you showed a picture to me when we were talking. It was of you're flipping a house, right? Or you're helping someone flipping a house, and they had a fireplace there. And all of the houses that you flip, you redo the fireplace. And I saw this, and it was absolutely beautiful, right? And like it took you some time to do it, and you like stuck to it and did it, but you redid the entire fireplace. It looked like it like to completely transform the room that the fireplace was in. This isn't like a common skill to have. This is a very unique thing. Like you do the furniture very well. You do like the staging of the house and things like that. But like being able to like completely paint a fireplace and you know, while running your furniture business, I mean, to me, this is absolutely fascinating and a hell of a skill, and you should be very proud of what you're doing, right? So let's talk. So Reurban It's been around for 3 years, right? So how did you learn and how did you discover your interest in refurbishing furniture?
So again, back to my mom being a freaking genius, but
sure.
She
Common
said
theme.
seriously common theme, but so she was like, yeah, you paint pictures, and like my mom flips houses, whatever, so she always had so much furniture that the person had just left there, and she was like, why don't you just paint a piece of furniture? And I was like, you're crazy, I don't know how to do that. And she was like, you could do it. And so I'm like on YouTube and I'm Googling some things, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try it. And I tried it, and I wanted to do like, I was like, stick to small pieces, do like little end tables and stuff. And then I wanted to do full-blown bedroom sets. And she's like, don't do it. It's way too much. Don't do it. And I remember the first piece I did was like a 5-piece bedroom set. French Provincial from 1920s. I loved it. And
oh wow,
I took it from like yellow to like a light like gray, like the color of my walls behind me. And it's
and are these just diamonds in the rough? You're just finding these old just old furniture that was nice that just needed to be refurbished. Is just like in this house. You're like, all right, I'll just turn it into art.
But like, dude, like that's like those pieces. They're like almost priceless, right?
Oh, I'm looking. Like, I'm scrolling through, and it's beautiful furniture.
Yeah. I mean, and Pete, you have the best eye for furniture. So, but either way, so you find this, you're saying you found this 1920s, like wood bedroom set, right? Do you know like type of wood it was, like a mahogany or something like that?
No, it was a blonde wood. I'm not really sure exactly which one, but it was a blonde wood.
Yeah. Like a cedar or something along those lines, but either way, right?
Yeah.
So you find this bedroom set and you're like, it's like kind of like on its last leg, but you were able to reinvent it, really, right? And reinvigorate it. And go ahead. So you painted it gray, and then go from there.
Yeah, and I had to learn a lot about like what the whole process is of refinishing, and I find so many pieces that just need, like, people just have pieces that they are in their original wood condition, no longer fit their aesthetic of their home, but they're still solid wood, and like you can't get furniture like this anymore.
No.
And so like I mean,
I bet you come across handcrafted stuff too, don't you?
Yeah, I do, but almost every piece I like come across is 80+ years old, and so like they've lasted, they're gonna last. You know what I mean? And I'm selling them, like, I mean, a dresser is like $300-400. It's gonna be the same price you're paying at like wherever to get like particle board. Where you're gonna go to? What's the one Swedish place?
IKEA.
You're gonna go to IKEA. You're gonna get some gimmick made out of plastic or like particle board. It's gonna be impossible to put together. It's gonna look like schmutz, right? Like where you go to your place, you're getting something, a handcrafted piece. People don't understand. To get a handcrafted antique piece now, right? Like it's like you're paying astronomical amounts of money where you're getting like a refurbished, pretty much brand new handcrafted piece that's like an antique that's been passed down from generations to generations, possibly
and that's why I'm excited about it, because like literally, so me and my wife, we had the IKEA furniture, or whatever, and now we've just been slowly replacing everything with things we find at antique shops. So you kind of, my wife is like always hunting on the Facebook pages. So we had like a
fucking
we had this old kind of dresser thing that we turned into a TV stand, and it has like the accordion door and all that stuff. So like we love it. Yeah, big fan.
Dude. But I like the history of it too. Like you see like old pieces that are like built a specific way that they only had like these tools back when these were being built, and they didn't have like major manufacturing. And it's like
I love the old accordion desk where they had the desk and they pull the thing down and lock it. And I'm like, what the hell is this guy working off? Where like no one in his house could see his desk. I'm like, what's he doing? Like,
oh my god, yeah.
I do a lot of those roll top desks.
I love the roll top desks. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, dude, that's awesome. Yeah. That's badass, man. I think my mom used to have one of those back in the day. But dude, like to get one of those, like, oh man, like just even like the material the stuff's made out of. Like right now, if you would go to any like store and buy it, right? It's not quality material, you know, like
or if it is, you're paying thousands, you're not paying hundreds.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, big time. And it's not like, and you're paying for something that like, you know, is supposedly fashionable, where like you're almost looking at it as like it's almost like a custom piece when you go to Breanna's. Like it is like you know, when you go to Reurban it, you know what I mean? It's in like it looked like another thing.
I'm taking notes now, so of all the stuff I'm keeping dibs on.
Yeah, we'll have the address. We'll have the address for the store in the description with a link to the website, a link to the social media pages, and everything like that, where you can view all her stuff. And you can go in and visit her. What are the store hours, Breanna?
We are Wednesday through Friday, 10 to 6, and weekends 9 to 4.
Beautiful. Oh, nice. And you're in lovely Bristol.
Right, we on the river. And we offer delivery as long as you're within an hour. And we have very highly trained movers, and they offer at fair prices. Yeah, we got you. You don't have to build it yourself. We'll bring it in. You're good to go.
Yeah,
because old party boy Pete Speck has been going out a lot lately. So.
Too much partying for old party boy. Too much dancing. Finally caught up to him. Yeah. When dancing is outlawed, only the outlaws will dance. So, all right. So that's fantastic. I do want to say this, and we had brought this up when we talked in the pre-show. What you're offering to people, right? So me and Pete, we both have young families, right? We're like, we've been married for, I said this on another episode. I was like, me and Pete got married literally like days apart, right? Like it was like he got
like 1 or 2 days.
Yeah, it was like 1 or 2 days apart from each other. We got married, and we were on a former episode, and I was like, yeah, we just celebrated our 3-year wedding anniversary, and Pete was like, man, I don't want to get you in trouble, but we've only been married for 2 years. And I was like, oh shit. But so either way. But what you're doing, like say Pete buys something, Pete, like, and I'm just being hypothetical, say Pete buys like a dresser or a bureau or something along those lines, or I buy something like that, right? That piece of furniture is going to last for a long time. That if I have kids and then I have grandkids, right? Say it's like a chair. I remember my mom used to have this chair that she would like read to us in, that she had gotten refurbished and things like that. And like her dream was to hand that chair down, right? Eventually, like I broke it. It is what it is. You know, I'm a rough guy. But either way, like if you had something like a rocking chair or whatever that could be handed down from generation to generation, you're creating like family heirlooms and memories and things like that. We had previously on the show, Mr. Carl Bowers, right? He had felled a tree in his backyard. He had taken the tree from a spotted maple. He had taken the wood from the tree that he knocked down himself, and he built a grandfather clock, right? And he gave that grandfather clock to his son's family. So his son's family is going to pass on to their sons, going to pass on to their sons. So you're doing the same thing where you have furniture that you're taking that like didn't have a home or a place to go that was going to be destroyed. And you're taking that and you're recreating it and you're giving it as like an heirloom to a new family so they can have the stories and the memories with this piece of furniture. And that's not to be understated. That's a very great thing that you're doing. You're providing like almost like a heritage for these families, you know, and like there's stories that they're going to build with the furniture that they're getting from you. And that wouldn't be possible if you didn't do what you're doing and like this shit was just being thrown away in the trash because people didn't see the value in it, right? So you should be very proud of what you're doing, and you're also adding a service to someone, and I think that's a great thing that you're doing, and you're kicking ass doing it. So keep doing what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So let's talk about this, right? So you have the business where you're refurbishing the furniture, you're also repairing the furniture, right? Then when you're flipping houses, and like we said, you're repainting the fireplaces of the houses you flip and things like that and doing a great job, but also you're doing something that I didn't know this was a thing, right? And it's called staging, right? So you kind of, for the student odds out there that aren't as well educated as me and Party Boy Pete, can you kind of explain what staging is?
Yeah. So there's multiple types of staging, but the one I usually do is residential houses that are going to be on the market for sale.
Yeah.
And new construction homes tend to have a cold feeling. They don't feel like a family has lived there.
Yep.
And they don't make you want to like sit down and have a meal. And one of my favorite things about my store and my staging is that people come in and they sit down. It's like I want you to feel that comfortable that you will sit down and have a good time with us. But that's what I do. So I'll go in and I'll say, usually people call me and say, listen, the layout here is weird. Can you show us how I can fit my sectional and my TV in here and make it look good? And I'm like, yeah, I got you, no problem.
Yeah.
Or if the house hasn't sold, because there's certain things that people look for when they're buying a house. Men tend to look directly, where's the TV going to go?
Absolutely. Dude, there's only two pieces of furniture I actually care about: the couch, my long sectional couch, and the TV.
Yes, and the TV. I know. I do this all the time.
Like, I've dealt with you people before.
She's like, no shit, Sherlock.
And women, we go straight for the kitchen and the dining room. We're like, okay, where is our family going to sit? Where can I cook? There's enough room in here, because I have a rule, and then when I'm in the kitchen, got the kitchen, okay?
Smart.
That's it.
It's a good rule. It's a good rule to have.
Yeah, but no, there's certain things that, and every single family is different and they have different needs. But that's kind of what I set it up to, where you can picture your family living in this house. And I'll use a lot of realtors use my services, and we actually offer like discounts to a lot of their clients after they use our services to help furnish their home too.
Yeah. I was just going to say, like, if you put some of your furniture in a home that you're staging, like, and someone sees that piece and they're like, I love that. Can that be part of the sale? Right. Then like, that's an option as well. That's genius. That's genius. Because you're basically like setting it up like, look, I have the perfect piece of furniture for this wall and I'm going to put it there and they're going to fucking eat it up. Bam.
Yeah, well, I'm a marketing kind of girl, so you know what I mean. If I can market to you, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, you can sell glue to a horse. I'll tell you that.
She can market to you in several languages.
Nice. That's fantastic. So the staging though seems to be like it's kind of fun. So, but I do want to like, how's it go? Like, so okay, so you're moving the furniture. So you call your guys. Do you go like? I remember. There's this one moving company. I mean, we don't have to shout them out, but I think they're called College Hunks Moving Junk or something like that. But like, it's one of those, like, you call your movers and you're like, look, we got, and like, there are different movers. There's like guys that like call junk all the time, but there's guys that are like professional moving like pieces that are very delicate, like chandeliers and china cabinets, like stuff that has to be very taken care of, You
don't go for the college hunks with that one.
No. You go for the pros. So like you call your pros, you're like, all right, guys, we're coming here and we're staging the house. So like they'll move the stuff in, and then do you tell them like, look, this is going to go here, this is going to go here like this is going to go here like this, and this is going to go here like this? Yeah. And you're like, this is more feng shui over here, right? Like, is that like kind of how it goes, or are you moving the furniture yourself?
No, the guys move it, and then if I can move a piece by myself, I'll move it. I'm a very hands-on type of person, and I'm very impatient, but so I'm kind of like, yeah, okay, I'll get it. But and
if it's like an end table or something, sure. Yeah.
And they know kind of how I am. Like, they know that just because I put something that way, it's not going to necessarily stay that way.
Yeah.
Because I have to try different things out to give the best feeling to the room and serve the clients better. And I work with delivery guys every day, so they're kind of just used to my style, and whether we're picking things up or delivering or staging or whatever. If you work at Reurban It, we're doing something different every day.
I'm telling you this too. I guarantee that I used to work for a hauler and like a junk mover and stuff. I guarantee that the Stunads moving the furniture are much happier to move the furniture for you than some like 8-year-old granny that's like, you're stepping on my cat's tail. Get out of the way. Like, you know,
take off your shoes. I got a white carpet.
Yeah. They're much happier working for you than one of those ladies. So nice. So you're kind of, but like that just brings up like another theme that we've been talking about besides the Latin theme, besides the what was it? What's the dog's name again?
Oh,
This is Raina. She just came in from a walk.
Oh man, dog lover on the show. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, a pit bull rescue.
Jesus
nice.
Christ. Bill Burr, there's a comedian, Bill Burr. He has the best saying about pit bulls. He's like, pit bulls they're like a gun that you can pet, right? Like if you're walking down, like you can be walking through the roughest neighborhood. I don't care. You could be walking through like war-torn Afghanistan. If you have a pit bull, they're getting the fuck out of the way. You know what I mean? Like there's no one going to be like, maybe I'll go bother. No, if you have the pit bull, forget it. Jesus, those dogs too. Talk about athletic specimens. They're unreal, those dogs.
Yeah,
oh
she's a sweetheart. She really loves guys. Like as soon as like my boyfriend's friends come in the house, she's like, oh, I just want to hang out with them. Excuse me.
She's the party girl. Yep.
She is. She's funny, but she's really sweet. You know, unless you mess with her mom, then then you got a problem.
That's how it's supposed to be. Yeah. So for those people listening, not seeing this, Breanna's dog Raina is a beautiful white pit bull, gorgeous, super sweet. Came in just to bother mom, But if you're listening to this, you can't see it, but we will have the video available on YouTube at the Working Perspectives podcast channel. So make sure you watch it.
Raina's very cute, so she's worth checking out the video.
Hey, damn right. Also, Pete's pretty cute too, so he's worth checking out the video.
And Matt, the Sixers are up by 13, and I got my
look at that
Sixers hat on, baby.
That's it. Your lucky hat. That's a sweet
former
hat.
Breanna client Joel Embiid is going on.
Yeah, former person. She didn't know who the hell he was. Nice. So okay, cool. So you're staging houses. You're doing all that. That's cool, right? And then you're repairing the things, and then you're like redoing the fireplaces when you flip, right? And you feature, this is another thing that's really cool. So what you'll do at your store, it's not just your stuff that's in there, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
So you're bringing in other, like your store is like doing so well, and your social media presence is so good. Like the shit you put out is so professional looking, right? And I shouldn't call it shit, but like the pictures you put out on like your Insta and everything like that, it's really good stuff, and really like clickbait, eye candy, scroll, whatever the hell you want to call it. Like it's stuff that like you look at. I like almost all of your posts because it does look professional. It does look well done. So other artists and other furniture artists are seeing this, right? And they're like, look, I want to get in on some of this. I want to get like some of what the kids would call your clout. Right? Am I right? I know what the kids are saying these days, right? I know who Jake Logan is. All right. So either way, these guys, so what you're doing is like you're letting other artists rent out space in your store to put their furniture in to get a sale, right?
Yeah, that's how. So we have two different programs with other artists. One is like they rent a space and I handle their sales and I market their item for them, and they pay just like a fee every month.
Yeah.
And the other way is sometimes it doesn't even hit the store. I just sell it on my social media for them, and we take a percentage base of it. And yeah.
Whoa, damn.
And I like this. And is it like painting, sculptures, both, or any like what have you been getting in there?
No, furniture.
It's all
like, furniture.
Yeah,
furniture. Oh, this is yeah. I see artists, so this is just people just like, oh, I'm doing my own thing with furniture and getting in this store. Okay.
Yeah. That dude, but that just shows like the power of like her social media presence, her marketing skills, like everything like that. That people are coming to her, like like they're using her to help market their stuff. That just shows like the quality of her work. And that's fascinating and good on you. And if people want to reach out to you, if furniture artists out there want to reach out to you, to use your store to market their stuff, can they contact you on Instagram or Facebook, or how
Yeah,
would they reach out?
absolutely. I just asked them that they send me pictures of their products and like what they actually use to refinish, because I don't accept certain products as like a top coat, as a protective top coat. Some of them I don't trust as much, and I don't want to give a like faulty product.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
hey,
good. Yeah.
yeah, your business is your brand name. Yeah, you're absolutely damn. Look at you, boss ass. Look at this. Look, we ain't taking none of that lead-based paint bullshit.
We're definitely not taking that. We're all about using healthy things. And speaking of, you guys both have young kids. That like the other type of furniture from IKEA and stuff like that, it is a little dangerous. The kids can pull it down on them and stuff like that. Like
and choke.
Well, it is if Uncle Pete built it, then yeah, it's definitely gonna fall apart.
Yeah, same with old Uncle Matty, because there's always extra parts when I use that.
Yeah, I know. Like, they sent me all these extra screws.
Yeah, like I don't know what they wanted me to do with this, but you know, either way. But dude, you're right. And plus, too, I know my kid, the first thing she does when she sees something is just bites it. So, you don't want to be biting lead-based paint like her old man used to do. So, but no, so that's great. So, yeah, so if you want to reach out to Re-Urban It, if you're a furniture artist looking to air some of your stuff out there, you can reach out to Breanna on Instagram. Just send her a picture of the stuff and then let her know what the paint base is that you're using to top coat the furniture, right?
Yeah, just let me know what products you use to refinish it, and like we're all good to go. And even if you use products I don't like, I'm still like, hey, like I'm willing to work with you. Like on the next one, let's just use this product because I don't really like the other product. And
quality control.
Gotta quality control it. And another thing is, if you own a piece of furniture already, if you already have an heirloom that you want to get redone, I am more than happy to make it fit in with your aesthetic now. And you could still keep your grandfather or grandmother's piece or whatever it is.
Absolutely. Nice. That's great. So like you said, like say like, okay, that's fantastic. So say like Pete bought a house, right? And he has some furniture in there, and it was all this type of feng shui, right? But he's got this rocking chair that he absolutely loves, that he has to have, but it doesn't match the feng shui. He can go to Re-Urban It. Re-Urban It will feng shui the shit out of it, and now it's going to match everything in the house.
Well, I just like scrolling through the Facebook page, I really like what you're doing with the China stuff. Like, you know, it's like, okay, here's like pieces that last forever, and it's like, okay, you know what, I want to paint my kitchen white, and I don't know if the wood color or whatever goes with it, and you just kind of like make it fit. And then when you repaint the kitchen, you can just do it all over again, so it lasts forever.
Yeah. Well, I can see that M behind you, Pete, and I'm gonna guess that your wife picked it out. And that's a very popular style, the white distressed with a little bit of the natural wood underneath the white. So I could see that.
Yeah, my wife makes all the decisions about everything in this household. So
same, absolutely. I don't like. My mom will contact me and be like, hey, we're thinking of doing this for this holiday. What do you think? I'm like, why are you fucking talking to me?
Yeah, I know.
Reach my secretary and she'll set up everything. All right. I'm not fucking dealing with it. Okay.
My boyfriend's mom says that too. She's like, I'm not calling him. I'm calling you.
Yeah. Oh, my mom would much rather speak to my wife than speak to me.
So Breanna, I have 4 sisters. So my wife is on sister chat with my sisters and my mom.
Yeah.
So she knows all the updates from the family she's like, did you hear about your Aunt Karen? I'm like, no, what's going on? I have no idea what's going on with my family. Like you're that's your realm now.
Same. It's funny because my wife actually was like, you know who you should have on your show? Your cousin Breanna. I love her business. You know, like so yeah, it's a whole,
I'm in charge of the trash and like lifting heavy things, and she's in charge of everything else.
Yeah, well, me and your wife need like a wine night or something because I loved her. She was so nice when I met her.
My wife.
Yeah, that's a
well, Pete, your wife can come too. She sounds like she has good taste. So
you can have a summit of the wives and Breanna.
No, my wife was saying the same thing. She's like, I loved your cousin. She's so sweet, you know. And I'm like, yeah, you don't really know her. She'll bite you. They try to do some shitty dancing with her to her favorite song. She's not so sweet then. Let me tell you, right? What does happen?
If you try and lead on a song where she's already leading,
don't even try and lead. Last thing you want to do. Yeah. What do you do? Do you though, like when you're at the club though? So back to the dancing, which was fascinating. Sorry, we'll get back to Reurban in a minute. I did have this question I did want to ask. So say you are at the club and you're dancing, doing your thing, and then you see someone out there that's like killing it, and you're like, me and him would be pretty good. Do you approach them and say like, hey, let's get this dancing because I think we would work, or does that just not happen?
Yeah, no, a lot of girls don't ask guys to dance. I ask guys to dance all the time. And I usually really like to ask the guys that are like in the corner alone to dance. And I was like, come on, get out here. Let's go. Get out. What are you doing in the corner?
Sending mixed messages here. Okay. Because you'll reach out to a creep in the corner, but when the creep comes out of the corner to reach out to you to dance, it's like, bro, fucking, you're stepping on my toes here, guy.
No, right? You're more than welcome to ask me to dance. I love to dance with new people, but it's like, as long as you're not creepy about it, like just don't be weird.
Yeah, just be polite.
Yeah.
Look, I think Breanna's at the stage where she can see someone walk and she's like, that person knows how to dance.
Really?
No, but like, so I know my instructor, like he has like beginners classes, and so like at the end of the beginner class he was like, can you go in and dance with some of these people so they know what to expect when we go out?
Oh,
and I'm like, yeah, sure. And so I seen them out at the club and I'm like, come on, let's go dance. And they're like, I'm nervous. And I'm like, well, don't be nervous. Like no one's gonna like, I know you guys think it's like a very competitive thing, but like if someone's new, like we're not judging them. We're just kind of like, oh, glad they're out here, you know?
Yeah, everyone's there to have fun, and like you're just kind of getting the word out about the Latin dance vibes. This is where it's
competitive juices only start flowing when the jerks are in the room. And you're like, that jerk, I know I'm better than him, and he's been a jerk.
Yeah.
Well, I danced to the guy.
Sashay me.
I danced to the guy that like I think they said he was on Dancing with the Stars. It was like 2 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah, so I walk in the club, right? So you guys love this. I feel like you love this setup.
Yeah, I do.
I get there, right? So I walk in the club. I'm in like a purple dress.
Whoa!
And I'm like about to get my drink, and then this guy just
the sparklers from the old coworkers are there, like
they got the sign.
Bottle service free is ready to go.
Okay. Purple dress, like, about to get your drink, and then
the guy's like, you, me, dance floor right now, basically, right? And I'm like, all right. Okay, I'm like, all right, hold on. Everyone grab my purse. I gotta go dance with this guy, right? And
what kind of shoes are you wearing? Heels or flats?
Everyone says I'm crazy because I wear like heels while I'm out, and they all wear Salsa shoes, which are heel, but they're a little bit easier to dance, and I don't wear them because I just don't.
How many ankles do you break in heels?
I don't. I've been wearing heels for a very long time.
Okay.
So yeah, like I think my mom had me in little like wedges at like age 4, so I'm ready for this.
You were dolled up for sure.
Yeah.
So okay, so this guy, you're dressed to the nines. You got your favorite purple dress on. You're wearing your heels, right? You just walk into the club. This guy clocks you. He comes over. He's like, you, me, floor, stat, and you're like, bitch, hold my purse, right?
Yeah.
And then you head out to the dance floor. What happens?
And I'm like, I accept the challenge, right? And I'm like, this dude, I'm like, he looks like he's a good dancer. I see he's wearing dance shoes, which if a guy's wearing dance shoes, it's like, okay, he must be a really good dancer.
I didn't even know there was dance shoes.
Yeah. So, I mean, to say that the dance was like phenomenal. Like it was a 10 out of 10, like everything that you would hope and dream for, right? And so my friends all look at me like, Bree, I didn't know you danced that good. And I was like, I don't. That was all that guy.
Really? So he was like able to like carry, like I wouldn't say carry you, but like kind of like advance you through the number.
He's certainly more of an advanced dancer than I am. And he was such a good leader that I was able to follow all the steps. And it just worked out really well, and it looked and felt like people were recording us. I was like, this is crazy. I wasn't expecting this.
Did it feel like he started out slow and then got more advanced as he like kind of felt how you could dance, where he was like, okay, like she can do this then probably.
So dance is always like that. You always dance basic. For like if with a new person, you start out basic and then you try something, you're like, oh, they can do that, maybe they can do this. And then you kind of just like figure out where the level is that you are at.
So this is like a professional, and like you're a good dancer, and like so this had to be like a spectacle where it's like starts out slow and it just keeps getting going and going until like like he gets to a level that he can't do, and he just didn't get there. Like,
does he? Is there like talking during these dances? Is he like rumble or ramba, sachet?
No,
pirouette?
there's no verbal communication on what you're gonna do. It's all physical.
So you're feeling your way through the vibes? Are you kidding me? Oh
yeah.
my God.
Like a blind man in an orgy, Matt. You have to feel your way through it.
Yeah, man. How about it, dude? Oof. Dude, you know what? Okay, so I will say this. So in boxing, one of the big things that people like attracts people to boxing is that it's a major stress reliever, right? Like when you're like, even if you like just hit the bag or something like that, like punching something and everything, it's like a big time stress reliever, right? When you're dancing, like you are getting like an emotional like fix, like you're really like pouring your heart into your moves and like really doing your thing, and you're getting a workout at the same time. Do you get kind of like the same kind of, I guess, like like kind of like refreshment, like kind of like you get kind of the same fix from like dancing and getting your emotions out like in a dance, or is that like not a thing?
Yeah, so definitely I think that like my lifestyle is very stressful. Like running your own company is I mean, there's no other way to put it than it's stressful. It's amazing, but it's very stressful. And then just like being in school on top of that is a lot, and then like owning your own house and being a dog mom and all this other crazy stuff you got
all
going
at
on.
the age of 24.
Yeah, and so it's a lot, and dance is my like I saw a video of me dancing the other day and I was like, wow, I've like never looked happier. I'm like live in my prime, stress relieves, and like endorphins are at an all-time high moment.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good.
Nice.
And honestly, that's like healthy to hear. Like you're not out like fucking like scoring bullshit or whatever, or whacking up some bullshit, right? Like you're getting your fix like healthily and like fun. Like you love what you're doing, Like honestly, that just sounds like dancing, like sounds like when you're doing it like that, it sounds like a blast,
Fun.
My father-in-law so my wife is European. Yeah. So my wife is European, right? And she's from Albania, right? So we went back to Albania a couple of years ago for a wedding, and when we were there, we were doing I'm a big history guy. So like I love to see like all the history. So we were going to like these different museums and things like that. And we were at a museum, right? And in the museum, they were playing a video of like this authentic Albanian dancing, right? And like they're in like the garb and everything like that. And the video was of her dad dancing. And like we went like they'll like do like the whole dad thing, like, oh dad, you're so corny, like like all the time. But as soon as they saw that video, my wife and her brother are both like, that's our fucking dad, like they were very proud of that. And then like they told the museum curator, and the museum curator was like, there's like that, they're like, that's your father? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, he's the #1 dancer in Albania, right? So his dancing and like in Albania, you would love this. So if you ever get invited to an Albanian wedding, you need to go, because it's dancing nonstop. It's all dancing all the time. Like so for the rehearsal dinner for my wedding, we were at a resort and we did the rehearsal dinner on the beach. And in Albania, they do weddings where like everyone holds hands in a circle and you dance together in like a circle to the beat. And we're doing it on the beach. I'm telling you, dancing all night. It was so much fun. But I'm saying in Albania, dancing is huge. So he's like, him being like the #1 dancer in Albania, it's very cool to see like, dancing transcend. I don't know where it's going that, but yeah.
Well, considering how close you guys live to lyrics, I feel like he has to go out there one night and just like let everyone know the old man still got it,
Dude, I will tell you this, like when we were at like weddings or like events, like even like I remember like I went to meet like her family in Connecticut one time, and like we had like this really big like nice dinner, and then they just everyone starts dancing. When that happens, he fucking takes over, right? Yeah. Like it's all right. The dog can bark. He's doing like I remember like he's doing like one-handed flips, right? Like someone's holding his hand and he does like a flip there right into another dance. He's dancing the whole time, right? Like dancing's no joke, because it's almost like it used to be like almost like a form of combat back in the day, right? Yeah. Where it's like two villages would come together, and if you had the best dancers, it was like a thing of pride.
That's how the Cold War was won.
Yeah, and that's how we won it. We outdanced him, baby. Sylvester Stallone and outdancing him. So, okay. So we're coming to the top of time. I know we went over time, but this has been like, Breanna, like This has been so awesome. I can't thank you enough for coming on. This episode like lived up to all our expectations. It was so much fun. It was great having you on. Right. And like it was a pleasure talking to you and getting your story. And honestly, me and Peter are usually on the same page with this, but we would love to have you back on if you'd be willing to come back on the show.
Anytime you guys want to talk about dance and
yeah, and you know what? Like that's the thing is like I love the dance talk, but I almost feel like we didn't go into the re-urbaning enough. I think we covered it, but it's like the dancing thing is just so fascinating. I had never heard it. But then the re-urban was also great too. So there's a lot we didn't cover. So if there wants to be a second episode, I'm completely on board.
All right. So we're coming to the top of time. This has been just another great show. And I know me and Pete, we can't wait to have you back on. But before we take off, Breanna, is there anything you want to say to the fans before we get out of here?
Thanks for listening. And I would love to meet you at Reurban if you want to come say hi and talk about any of the stuff that we talked about today.
Yeah, and tell them the gang from the Work Perspectives podcast sent you, and she'll hook you up with the same deal she gives everybody else every time. So, all right, Party Boy Pete, before we take off, anything you want to say to the dozens and dozens of Work Perspectives podcast listeners?
Just want to point out again that Breanna was smart and did community college first to save those first couple of years of big bills. I'm a big fan of community college.
Smart move. All right. So this has been another episode of the Working Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied by Party Boy Pete McCormick, and our guest today was the one and only Breanna Hitchens. You can find us on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. And if you would like to be a guest on the show, you can email us at workperspectives@gmail.com. And if you want to hang out with us on the socials, you can hit us up at Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast, and then follow us on the Twitter and the TikTok at Working P Pod. All right, this has been another episode. Stick around for the ad read. Thanks. See ya.
It's all objective to be effective by voicing societies. Working perspective, exploring your day and how you get paid. Launching a new episode every Tuesday. Your day can transform while we inform with new episodes available on every platform. So check out our vibe and how we get live. Then do us a solid. Share and subscribe. Would you share it? Would you share it? Would you share it?